Good evening,
Hello.
everybody. Hello. Whoops. I was gonna smack my chair with my knee, or my desk with my knee. Well, hi, everybody. I know the music needs to be loud enough for people to hear it, but it's distracting. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our 36th episode of this here Gosm Ghost Saltmarsh campaign. I am your Donjon Master, and these fellas around here are your various and sundry war criminals.
Heroes. You mispronounced heroes.
Heroes. Depends on the day. Depends on the day. Depends on what the snapshot you take, I guess. Which applies to a lot of D&D parties actually. The more you think about it, it's like, are you good guys? And then you see the ones that are like, yeah, those one episodes where they did something really fucked up, and you go, ooh. Glad it does. Don't want to take that as an isolated incident. Anywho, good evening. We're gonna get ourselves rolling here shortly with a brief interlude of some I guess what things we still got going on, which we are still doing our charity drive for oh goodness, oh, we do have the wrong set of war criminals. I'm sorry.
I got
You
you.
got it. Okay.
I got
That was the one. It was the thing I forgot to do. Which actually I forgot to do something else as well. Whoops. Off the ball this Monday. Now that I'm thinking about it, people are gonna come in here from Twitter thinking we're playing Eberron. By the way,
How
whoops,
dare you.
whoopsie daisies. I mean, it's correct on Twitch, so I mean, what can you do? It's D&D. They can suck it. But we are still doing our charity drive for Extra Life, which is a organization that benefits children's hospitals across continental North America, meaning the United States as well as Canada. Specifically, we'll be benefiting the Children's Hospital of Atlanta, so helping out sick kids. It's a worthy cause, so open your hearts and wallets. You might also win some cool stuff like a digital copy of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, a gaming mouse or gaming keyboard at our last two tiers of $2,500 and $3,500. So it's worth checking out. Win some cool stuff, help some kids, feel real nice, do good in the world like people in D&D try to do some of the time. But other than that, unless anybody else has any other announcements, we'll hop into a brief recap of last session. Alright, so last Monday, our friends here in Ghost Saltmarsh, because they still don't have a name, I can now talk shit about them not having a name, because Eberron has a name, so I gotta work on that. I'll give y'all an NPC to harass you about what to call you, if that's what it takes, I guess. But anywho,
don't make it mad. Gloob will fucking stab him.
don't tempt me. Ned is now immortal. He cannot die. He's like an immortal trickster god. You just can't end him. He'll follow you around forever.
Ned the
Inedible. I am inedible. Okay, anywho, focus. They exited the Dreadwood at long last after a tense evening for some. For a lot of people. I'd say probably a tense evening for everybody. Extra tense for one frogman who had a brief dream run-in with what you can only assume is Granny Nightshade herself, indicating that she did take note of the taunt that he gave her earlier when they had finished off her lieutenant, the Oni. Giving him some nightmares and a less than restful night's sleep, they then continued on, making the way out of their woods unmolested. Doing a little bit of travel on foot, letting the Castellan of Burle know that they were indeed alive via a message from Bart, and getting some horses for the last little bit of their journey back. They reported back to Shadowbreaker, giving her the head as proof, as well as letting her know some other things and trying to get some numbers of reinforcements on the reinforcements that Saltmarsh could expect. Spending the evening there to do a little bit of recuperating. Gloob spending the night within the grove, the Druid Grove within the center of Burle, making nice with one of the druids within and sharing a little bit of some things that have heavily influenced his own life. And doing and the rest of the party doing some dealings with the blacksmith that was a little less than amiable to Julian's haggling. But swiftly repairing some of their equipment overnight as requested. The party then got up the next morning and set out. Not before Bart checked in with Eleander, once again via ascending spell, to let him know that they had been successful and would be returning soon. He was giving a brief response, saying that their success boded well. And that next morning, they set off to begin their trek back to Saltmarsh, and that is where we'll be picking up. Is as the lot of you, plus an NPC, are setting out in your cart with a couple of horses and other hangers-on to make your way back to Saltmarsh. So, John, your time is yours. Your time is your own. Is there anything you would like to do during your first day of travel?
Well, Blue, have you thought about what the plan is when we get back to Saltmarsh?
I mean, we have to speak to him and let him know that we're going to be coming back with troops, right? So I guess we'll see what he says then.
I mean, I already told him we're coming back with troops, so he's aware we're on the way.
If anything happens, Gloob, I will stand in your defense. I won't fight any guard, but I will speak for you.
I appreciate that.
Using the go ahead. I say using the earpiece, Julian will send him telepathically. If you end up in jail, we'll make sure you don't stay there long, one way or another.
You just see Gloop smile a little bit. We'll go talk to him anyways, let him know and update him and tell him that we'll be heading out to the old base, the old lizard folk base next. And my plan is just to put the ball in his court. If he plans on having me arrested, I'm gonna put that on him. I won't lay down and die.
You're not going to be dying, but you don't worry about that.
And that's how the party became genocidal maniacs.
If anything, they considered giving the other, I can't remember his name anymore, the man he killed and his fellows, they considered giving him like penance or service on the front lines. And I mean, that's what we've been doing. We have shown that that you and all of us are we're incredibly important to the effort of the war. I mean, without us, they wouldn't have known. The Swahagan would be on their front door before they knew anything. The lizard people would be dead. Because it didn't seem like they were winning the war.
They do anything more than a slap on the wrist, then they're as stupid as they are corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we don't do nothing crazy, I don't think anything's going to happen to Glue. Everything should work out all right. If they even say anything about it, they might understand the situation and, I got better things to deal with.
Well, just so y'all have the whole picture as we're riding along, I told y'all the worst of it. But I am going to let you know. A guard let me in there. I paid a guard a hefty sum to let me in there. Now, whether he's sticking around or not, I don't know. He may have just taken the gold and ran. And after the fact, I made a donation to the war effort as well. So, a little bit of more of a whole picture for you.
All right.
Julian just nods because that sounds closer to par for the course. Not for Glue, but for, the whole bribing guards and his opinion of guards in general.
Well, more implications can be made in that direction, but I'd say, if anything, that just shows how acclimated you've come to human civilization.
Everybody wants something.
Yeah.
Humans are not.
All right. Just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page. We weren't expecting anything to happen, and that we all could, not be blindsided by nothing.
You shouldn't be blindsided by anything, but also I think it's pretty important that everyone knows that you had no idea that this was going to happen. It's the truth, but I think it needs to be known if it does come up.
As you said, Blue, we are a tribe, and the decisions of the tribe, even if it's just one member of the tribe, it does impact all of us. I won't allow you to stand by yourself in what comes, and I don't think Bard or Julian would either.
Sure. I mean, want us to roll Louis' biggest tenets of being honest. Yeah. I'm not gonna go around and tell any lies and anyone like that, but I'm also not gonna sit around and let bad things happen to good people if I can do something about it. So,
Same. I'm just gonna get a real serious look at my face, like just look at Barton. Yeah.
I understand.
Julian says nothing.
So, we're on the same page then, the way Jakob said it, the way I said it. Don't matter if we didn't know about it, it's still us. Yeah. Face it together. To kind of look over at Ella. I mean, I don't mean to speak for everybody. Julie, Ella.
Well, I believe a bit difficult for me to not be at least partly implicated, but
Sure.
things like that happen. So, I hope you will understand if worst comes to worst. I will do my best to extricate myself. I cannot afford to be stuck in any one place, especially for crimes that, quite frankly, I did not commit, regardless of how justified they were.
Absolutely. I mean, as it stands right now, as per our agreement, we're just giving you a ride back to town.
This is true.
And probably get you, well, he starts to, probably Bart starts to talk about celebration and getting her a few drinks and just kind of like, well, nope. just cuts off mid-sentence. Anyway.
I think, well,
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jacob.
Once everything's solved, it's probably, or dealt with, it's probably best for me to stay at the ship, because other sources of housing probably are a little bit too tempting for me right now.
Understandable.
I'll stay on the ship with you.
Appreciate
There's a better
that.
place to train my bird anyways. Gets too loud in the bar. He's already bit 3 people.
I bet there's not a lot of people keeping up the kitchen. I'll probably have to go there and throw all kinds of spoiled shit into the ocean. Probably have rats too, so might as well stay on there as well.
Oh, I just remembered, Gloob. When we get back, I had something commissioned to hopefully help deal with your needing to bathe. It's like a mobile bathtub. So hopefully we can put that in your bag there and keep that with you.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Thank you.
And if Captain Zindros happens upon one of those, I remember the first time we met her, she had one of those. It's like a decant, like a. The best I can call it is a water skin of water. She said it created a lot of water, so.
I think that's what she called it too.
Yeah.
Close enough.
So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, maybe you can smuggle it into jail for me.
Well, I hope that that doesn't happen.
Me too.
All in all, doesn't help to worry about it too much. We don't even know what we're gonna deal with when we get there.
Sure. So Hagen could have burned it to the ground by now. We've been gone for a long time.
Julian starts counting on his fingers.
Well, I mean,
Somewhere around
I
like
spoke-
12 days. By
I
the time
spoke
you
with-
figure, when you guys get there.
I spoke with Firebrand. He didn't seem too dead, or like he was going to tell us not to bother coming to Saltmarsh. So I imagine it's still there, or he really don't like us too much anymore. One or the other.
I wouldn't doubt the latter.
That's all right.
Hopefully the king has responded. If he, I can't remember if Firebrand has sent for the king's aid, but if he did, hopefully the king has responded by now and sent some forces to help deal with this threat.
Well, hopefully we can just move right through, stay another night in Saltmarsh, and then keep on going and go to the base.
Agreed. Yeah. Freeze right on through. Get things
Yeah.
done. What about you, Ella? Where are you going to be going after this?
Just kind of furrows her brow a little bit. Not quite sure. There's a lot going on down this way, but at the same time, it's not exactly my chosen purpose. So,
I mean, I could tell you some fibs about all them Swahagan necromancers that
Oh.
would make a difference.
we shall see.
Legions of them, I tell you.
At the very least, I may need more than a singular night of rest. Bones are a little older than the lot of you, at least. The events of these past week or so have been a little rough on me, and I don't
How old
recover
are you?
quite as quickly. 48.
Well,
Almost. Oh wait, was it 48? Shit. I can't. I think I bounced back and forth on her age. She might be in her 50s. I think she is in her 50s. I'm sorry.
well, first, you look great for your age, and you're a fine-looking woman. And Blue, for a fate
One might
worse.
think you are trying to flatter me, Bartholomew.
It's never an unwise thing to flatter a lady. Don't ever ask that of a woman. It's just the thing that they get touchy about. Just
Some, perhaps. It is, in our line of work, it's a bit more pertinent. So,
How old are you, Bart?
I mean, I'm up there. I'm a little bit older than Ella. I'm in my 60s.
from what I understand, that's not quite as impactful for halflings as it is for humans.
No. Just getting a little bit different color hair. That's about it. I'm 66.
What about you, Blue? How old are you?
16 or so.
Oh my.
Julie, like,
How long can y'all live? How long can you live, Bart?
There's plenty of halflings out there back in my hometown or getting around there 2nd century. That's 200.
How long do
Humans
your
don't live
people?
that long.
How long do your
I have-
people usually live, Gloop?
Depends. If they're taken care of, they can get like 40.
That's not bad.
Yes.
Yeah, you Julian, how old are y'all?
Well,
Uncomfortable frog.
last time I checked, I was 30.
Been a while since you checked.
Julian actually like furrows his brows and he's like, 30-ish.
You're older than me, Julian?
I guess.
You still hadn't even lost your baby teeth, though. I'm just picking at you, son. Come
He's
on.
he looks like honestly concerned, like I haven't thought about it since the captivity. I not quite sure how long I was there. A few years. 30 something.
Is that, if you don't mind my asking, what you said? I didn't realize you were captive. Was that
Panic in
What
his face.
caused
He's like, oh,
your
shit, I said too much.
condition? I don't want to be
Oh.
insensitive, but
Yes. I wasn't always this pretty.
oh, I see. Well, I do not wish to pry. If you would like to keep things to yourself, by all means, I understand.
Wasn't exactly a fun time.
Clip. That cracks
Who's
me
just
up.
like counting on his fingers?
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah. Most people, I imagine, have unpleasant memories that they would rather not revisit.
Since we're on the topic of Julian's history, why the hell did you ever decide to get in a boat and go out on the ocean? You're a damn fine tracker.
I don't think I always was.
Just kind of come naturally to you?
These days.
I understand. All right. It's just like, okay, moving on.
Dodgy.
Yes.
Well,
Fucking Julian takes the dodge action in this conversation.
Yes. Just over one and then hit X. All right.
God damn it.
about how far do y'all think we are from Saltmarsh?
I mean, we got over a day still. Easy.
We got to Burle on the second day of travel, if I recall, originally.
Well, I will ask that at the very least we're in Saltmarsh for a day. It would be about 2 days from maybe a little bit longer. Just make sure that I'm not hampering the party. Otherwise,
You just
you
make
all-
sure it's completely fine. You just let me know. I mean, you're my friend. I ain't gonna let you suffer. You just gotta let me know.
I appreciate that part. I just don't want to repeat of what happened in the Dreadward, at least the beginning.
Right.
We just wandered into the marshy bullshit forest equivalent of hell and killed someone who really wanted us dead in the middle of his fucking house. We can take a few days off, I think.
As long as it's safe for everybody.
Right. How long Oh, I'm already forgetting. How long was that trip when we had to go to the lizard folks' place by boat anyway? Like a day or two?
If I remember correctly, it was about 3 or 4.
3 or 4 sounds right.
I mean, it felt like a week to me, but that's beside the fact. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we should be able to get plenty of downtime on the ride over there if we don't get too much downtime in town. I don't know. Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, do you have a pen and paper I could borrow when we stop for the night?
yeah,
I
sure.
can give. Oh, sorry.
I'm
There
out.
we go. Yeah, you're fine.
Thanks.
All right.
Cody fails his talk in a gravelly voice check.
Just go. You just gotta spend an hour before a stream just screaming as loud as you can, just into the void, and then it'll come
Fine.
naturally.
Find your favorite screamo song.
There you go.
Show up to next session ready
Handle.
to go.
Just make a soundproof room and just stand in there and yell continuously. Anywho, unless there's anything else anybody would like to do for this first day.
Not during the travel.
Sure.
If anything, he's just gonna be playing with that glaive blade strapped to his backpack.
It's a big bitch.
He got plans.
It's like, I mean, that thing is like as long as like your forearm and like half as wide. Like,
Yeah,
it's fucking huge.
I took the time to like look up the size of a troll versus the size of a human, and then the length of a glaive blade versus like scaled up. That thing should be like 27 inches long.
It's fucking big. Yeah. It's like, well, because, and not only is it 27 inches long, it's like fucking super fucking wide. You take like a loaf of bread and be like, damn, whole bitch fits right on there. You could use it as a plate or as like a serving platter, probably. Get a nice like roast pig on there. Wouldn't look out of place. Except that it's sharp.
Long?
Like,
About how long?
yeah, like you said, probably somewhere in that 27 inches, so a little over 2 foot.
Oh no.
Trolls.
Oh.
How long is passing?
Oh, is
Is your
passing?
thing.
Oh, well, as I was saying, if there's nothing else anybody would like to do during the traveling day, we'll be kind of fast forwarding to the evening. If there's things you guys would like to do during the evening of this first day of travel.
What
I'm
time?
definitely gonna have some nice cook.
Y'all started relatively early in the morning. Kind of like y'all had like I guess y'all didn't necessarily have to unless you wanted to be up particularly early. But y'all probably starting to slow down and look for somewhere to camp probably around 7, 8 o'clock. Maybe a little before that.
It's a 27 on my cooking check tonight.
Righteous.
Big old, putting that pot to use. Nice big vegetable stew.
Yeah.
The last of the vegetables. Wait, did the vegetables get rotted off? Can't remember when that happened. Wasn't there something that happened to me that rotted things that were on my body?
I think you got hit with like necrotic damage, probably. Probably most things organic. Probably didn't do too hot.
Yeah.
We're still traveling by the river, right?
No.
No, the main road, it does go in and out from the river a little bit. But let me double check.
Yeah, it goes away from it here and there, but it does kind of follow generally.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're wanting to have at some point have like dipped off and maybe caught some fish, I'd say that'd be easy enough, especially if y'all are not trying to travel too hard. You're not trying to push too hard.
Did it be a 17 on the check to catch fish on the road on like a
17?
20-minute break or something?
Okay, I was like, whoa, that's a pretty crazy check. You're trying to fly fish in the back of a wagon? What's going on here?
When you travel in like long distances, you got to stop and take like a half-hour lunch.
So
or
yeah,
something.
like at one of the points when y'all stop to kind of like water and let the horses graze or something for a little bit, kind of let them rest up and ease the backsides of those who are not used to riding horses as much. You know, as nice as that cart has been to y'all, that the riding plank, the bench hurts a little bit when you hit some few potholes. You bounce on your ass a little bit. So easily enough done. You're not like prolific amounts of fishing success, but reasonable.
We chilling, all right.
Yeah, you got some fish to supplement the evening meal with some freshly caught.
Glue will soak. Oh, go ahead.
You can go first.
Yeah, real quick. Just every time we do pull over, glue will soak like upstream of Julian, wherever Julian's fishing.
Don't want to get hooked.
Yeah.
Correct.
Ah!
I would like to go up to Julian while he's fishing and kind of try to discreetly ask him a question.
Julian is trying. He's on the come down from the forest, so he's relaxing when you walk up to him.
You scare the shit out of him.
Jacob, what's up?
Julian, I remembered our conversation before, and I hate to bring it up again because it's a little dark, but I think it's important. I don't believe you had told me your brother's name in case, things go south. I know your wife's name, but it may be hard for somebody to find just her.
Julian checks his
Julian
notes.
takes out his relationship card.
Where's my family tree?
Yeah, it's on here somewhere.
He just pulls out a fucking rug that has his family tree on it.
Driver's license, Social Security. Here we go. Relationship.
There it is. Birth certificate? No. Passport? No, not that.
There you go.
It's actually got a lot of stamps in that passport. He's been a lot of places. He's a bit of a collector, as it were.
Abari Arosi.
Some alliteration going on. Nice.
All right. I'll make sure to remember that. I remember I had told you about the ring to make sure it gets my wife. But can you also make sure that this necklace also gets to her? It was our daughter's, and I couldn't stand anything that not getting to her.
Absolutely.
I'll let you keep fishing. I gotta go talk to Bart. This not drinking thing's not going too well.
Should try fishing with me. It's relaxing.
I might take you up once I'm feeling a little bit better.
Just kind of tips his hood at you and is like, all right, just an offer.
No, I appreciate it. And to Bart I go.
I'm not hidden.
Bart, I'm seeing things again.
Oh, all right. Yeah, come on over.
Thankfully, it's easier now that we're not in that dark forest. I can kind of tell what's real and what isn't, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna mince words on it. That was a real shitty place.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, come on down here. And I'll just get him and grab him by the face.
Oh my.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming he's still got his armor on, just getting more direct skin.
What the? Get down here, boy.
Just shocking grasp instead.
I can't reach. You're too tall. Oh god. You are
I
lesser
appreciate it.
restoration.
Lesser restoration.
Or are you?
Yeah, it's lesser restoration.
Counterspell.
No!
Passing wizard just going, stop doing magic. Wow. Just does not even hostile. It's like, hey, stop that.
Do I see any larger rocks near me? Not like huge, but ones that's heavy that I could pick up.
Roll a perception check for me.
He's just gonna throw it at Julian.
16.
16? Sure.
would like to sneak away from the bay while I'm in the water soaking. I see Julian up there fishing. I want to get a little bit deeper into the river and just go a little bit deeper in.
Okay.
And grab that rock.
Okay.
I'm gonna swim towards
Roll
where
it. Wait. You're trying to like. This is in the river.
Yeah.
Give me a strength check.
Strength check?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see how well you do with it. Cause I'm assuming you're wanting something fairly hefty, right? And this is also in a river, so like an active river.
Are you gonna use your sword on this?
That's a 19 plus 1.
Easily enough. You're like, you got it like a football, but it's like a really big rock football. You're like,
I was literally born in the water.
You got freaking frog killies.
I'm gonna wait for a minute, and I'm gonna stealth down
Okay.
the river a little bit to where Julian's fishing.
okay.
I'm gonna wait for him to cast it out, and where I see it hit the water,
Okay.
I'm gonna tie the fucking rock to the fishing string and let it go.
Okay. So this is gonna be 2 checks. I'm not gonna give you disadvantage on the stealth check because you rolled so high on your strength check for the rock. But so stealth check.
All right. That's another 19 plus 11 for 30.
Julie, you do not see him approaching in the water. Now I want a sleight of hand check to tie it on there without him feeling you like pulling on the line.
Not as good. Good. Only a 16.
Julian, your passive's only a 13, isn't it? You don't notice.
He's probably about
mean,
to notice.
I would
If were to
imagine
roll
so.
it, I would probably roll at disadvantage anyway because he's
Yeah,
chilling.
well that's what I'm saying. Like you're not on the lookout for anything, so we're just going off of your passive.
quite
moment.
literally the opposite of being
Right.
on the lookout right
Exactly, which is what passive perception is for. I mean, I could do it at disadvantage and say it's -5, so even 8 right now if you
now.
really
That's
want to
probably-
do that.
Like, realistically speaking, that's probably closer
Sure.
to what we're looking at right now.
Okay, so Gloob, you just tie it on there and then you just drop it.
Just gonna chuck that bitch like downstream, like not.
So you just
over
kinda
the water,
shove
just,
it- yeah, you just shove it
yeah,
down.
with the current. Yeah.
Julian, all this. Hold on, actually, let's see. You said you wanted. What's your carry capacity? Like, how much weight can you carry, Gloob?
My strength is 12.
So times 15, 100, 130 pounds. This is like
Sure.
easily like a 30-pound rock. Because you said you wanted to find a big one. And with as well as you rolled on your strength check, I won't rob you of that. Julian, your line just fucking all of a sudden just pulls extremely taut, and like the rod just goes boom, and just like bends all just straight downstream.
No shit!
Cook is gonna start making his way back to kind of upshore where he was and come on the shore.
What am I rolling here? What am I doing?
Initially, I want a strength check to see if you don't lose the rod.
All right.
It's a heavy
That'll
rock.
be 16.
16. It's close.
I
Like
have
you just
plus 0.
like that the rod it just jerks all of a sudden, and you hadn't expected any fish that big to be something that would be interested in what you were putting in the water, but you are able to get a hold of it just in time to not lose it to the river. Imagine you're reeling it in, or you giving the whole and I mean with your
you're
previous
acting like we real fancy. This is a stick, my guy.
Oh shit! So you're just okay, sure. I'll say like over the next like 2 minutes of you trying to like fight the fish, you are able to reel it in. And you find a 30-pound rock on the end of your line,
What the hell?
neatly tied on.
Hold on.
Let's roll a straight
gonna be
intelligence check.
I'm gonna be standing behind Julian. Once I heard the yell, I'd come over. I'd
That's
be
it.
like, well,
That's a natural 20.
Mm.
Blue is nowhere to be found.
looks like you got a rockfish there, Julian.
Shut the fuck up. What is the hook okay? Was it destroyed or damaged in the
High-low.
fight with the rock?
High-low.
Always high.
You said always high?
Yep.
It's fine. I was giving it like a 15% chance, and it rolled a 2. So, you know.
Narrowing his eyes at the area where he last saw Gloob, begin the task of untangling his line.
All right.
If it would be easier, you can just cut that and I can put it back together with a little spell.
Without a word, he will just.
Oh, that's
You know, there's an old story that Halflings tell us sometime about stolen soup, but I don't think this is what you had in mind.
No. Does it involve frog legs?
I'm sure there's a version out there it does, but maybe
About-
not tonight.
And then there was PvP apparently. Over a fishing line.
This is more like the lazy uncle got his football game interrupted while he was watching downstairs.
Y'all didn't know. Y'all didn't know Julian was chaotic. Now you know.
Oh no.
Oh man.
He seems passingly grumpy, but it does not last.
All right.
Yeah, I'll wait for him to untangle things and make his line back together.
Hold on a second.
Thank you.
Ella looks passingly amused from her position on the cart. All right. Is there anything else anybody would like to do during the traveling day?
I assume, well, at the end of the day, I'd bring this up, so whatever you guys want to do during the day.
All right. So as y'all come to evening and you set up camp.
Yep. So, Jakob, you wanted to have a talk with the party at some point. Figure we better have it now before we get back to Saltmarsh.
I've said a lot of what I want to say, but before we went into the Dreadwood, I didn't really understand why Glue would have done that. I mean, I understand bad people get what's coming to them, but I mean, bad people in the process of being punished. That's a little different. But what happened to those people in the Dreadwood shown me that I'm not sure that everybody should get a second chance. And especially if you're doing something to innocent people who didn't ever have a chance to fight back, die with honor. So, I understand more why you would have done that, Gloop. As I've said before, I will be there for you.
Jakob, I don't expect you to understand what I did, and I'm sorry that you even do. But if I said it that night, and I'll say it again. I went there with every intention of killing him because of what he did. And knowing that what I saw on that island, that he would talk his way out of it. And then I talked to him. I spoke to him. I didn't plan on saying words, but I did. And I saw it then and there. There was no remorse, and it was going to happen again. So I don't expect you to understand it. I don't understand it all that much myself. All I know is evil was in front of me, and I did what we've done so far. You say he was in the middle of being punished. I saw it as him being halfway escaped.
I understand that better now than I did. If somehow, magically, we're able to capture the Oni, and I saw what, if I had seen what I had seen after we killed the Oni, I'm not sure that I could have stopped myself from killing him. Chained, defenseless, though I'm not sure he would have been. I'm not sure I would have been able to stop myself from someone hurting innocent people again.
Sometimes, Jakob, it's not about doing what's honorable. It's just doing what needs to be done.
Yeah, and Jakob, there's one thing to be said about doing something in a fit of passion or having a reaction to something that sometimes you just can't help saying something or doing something. You're put into a certain situation, but Blue acted less passionately as I understand, and did what he thought he needed to be done. And he did it. And probably, I try to see the good in everybody, and I want to see the good in everybody. And sometimes trying to see something might blind me to other things that I didn't see. Maybe that's why I'm with all y'all. But
Jakob's just gonna be looking kind of up, gonna have his hand around the symbol of Erroneous that he keeps on his neck with his daughter's necklace, and he's gonna be kind of crying. I understand that's what you all believe, but honor and chivalry is it's what makes me me. It's what's kept me alive, what has kept me going, and what keeps me going. It's what will bring my wife back to me and bring me hopefully, some sense of closure.
Ella leans over and puts a hand on your forearm, Jakob, and looks up at you. Honor and chivalry they are wonderful ideals, but to stick too closely to them, when you do things like you do, and all of you do, it can lead to an unfortunate end if you stick to them too closely.
Julian just mutters under his breath. Very low DC perception check if anyone wants to try and eavesdrop.
what do you say? I'm pretty sure my passive gets it.
Probably. Just muttering to himself about how setting those things aside is what kept him alive and in good condition in the past.
Yeah, I understand that, and all of us got varied viewpoints, and I think that helps us function to the best. And we might disagree on things, and we might have some real big blind spots, but I think as long as we're all looking after each other, we'll end up on top. And yeah, honor, virtues, and chivalry, and all that stuff's great. You can write it down in a book, give it a definition. At the end of the day, every story you heard about all of those things had some bullshit in it. Don't believe that for a second. I've told many, many, many stories in my life, but most of them, if not all of them, had at least a little bit of lies in it. But, you know, just to flavor it, make it a little bit better. But holding to it as a 100% truth, you're going to hurt yourself more than you're going to hurt anybody else.
I mean, all my fishing stories are true. Embellishment isn't always the way.
One of these days, I hope the halfling people will aspire to be as virtuous as our compatriot, the honest.
I heard you caught a big one earlier, Julian.
So Julian was like, kind of like cracking up a little, laughing along with Bart, but just instantly gone like, "Oh yeah, real big one."
I'm gonna kind of chuckle and take one of the water skins and drink out of it like, you know, I'd be drinking out of like a wine skin.
Oh God,
Still.
Jesus, that is a natural too. He was trying to pretend to still be mad, but not doing a real good job of the pretending part.
Yeah, I think put up a pretty good fight. When it came out in the water, it was dead as a rock.
And with that, Julian can't keep faking it anymore. Yep, that's gonna be our meal. I got dinner.
I will put it in the fire underneath the pot.
It's a really big
There you
salt
go.
lick rock.
Big salt liquor.
Everybody's got to have one, right?
Hell yeah.
Lucky salt lick rock.
You're muted.
After we're done eating, can I get that pen and paper?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll grab it for you right now.
Thank you.
Might be a little small, but you manage.
It'll be enough.
Little tiny pen. Just for my halfling hands. like the little baby doll hand just come up from under the screen. Clack, clack. Oh, I cracked myself up. Somebody's got to keep me amused. Why not me?
Wow. Yeah, it was that was good talk. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's not what I meant at all, Yakim. I was talking about, you know, the other thing. Just kind of like rubbing my hand a little bit.
I'm going to walk to the side with Bart. Excuse us for a second.
Ella, as you guys walk away, she just kind of says, if there's some type of private conversation you would like to have among the four of you, I can give you some privacy. Just kind
If
of
that be possible.
moves to stand up. Very well.
Huh.
I will go off a ways and contemplate the night. Just steps like outside of the dome.
When she starts to leave, I'll just feign talking under my breath. Like, I'm sure it's just a rash. Just don't, you know, it'll be alright.
She does not hear you with a natural one. She rolled an 18 on her insight
Okay.
check as y'all were doing that. That's why I was like, yeah, she'll just kind of take the hint.
Alright.
Once she's outside the dome, I do want to talk about the ring with y'all, but I can't risk it in front of Ella. And I can't talk about my wife more in detail with Ella. Be a certain she dislikes the undead. She's shown that on that island. And I mean, my wife and my daughter are both undead, if that's what you call it.
Undead adjacent.
Run that by me again.
My wife and my daughter are undead.
Thought you said. Bart just kind of like, oh shit, fucking Yakub's crazy. I thought you said wife was still alive. That she just left you. I didn't think you meant she left you like that, you know.
No, she's still walking around on God's several green Earth or green planet.
Green Greyhawk.
Green Greyhawk.
Well, do you know who did it?
What do you mean?
You say she's dead and she's still walking around. There's generally like a spell casting, like a necromancer or something like that involved.
Oh, well, it's kind of a family passed down through family lineage. My daughter is like my wife, or was like my wife. Is
I'm not really sure I follow. You can't
Same.
really. Yeah, I don't know how you pass down being undead, unless you're saying that there's undead out there that can procreate in the unlife.
there are.
Oh, okay.
There some that are human and something else.
Right.
Like Julian, but different.
Just gotta look over. at
Julian's
Julie.
like mid letter writing, and he just kind of like, what?
And Julian
Like-
used to.
like they got like somebody did like a ritual on them and they carry it down generation to generation or something.
Jakob, roll me like we're gonna say like a quick history check.
Oh no.
So close to being good. That's a 3.
Never mind.
Oh boy. So are you? I mean, is that the plan? Are you trying to save your? Is this like a family curse kind of thing?
No, it.
Jacob,
It's
you just can't
something
quite
that-
remember what the things your wife told you specifically about her family's affliction.
Is it like a sickness that like's in their blood or something?
It is, I think. Like,
Oh, this is not in character. I'm not laughing in character. I'm so sorry.
but I mean, she's fine with it. It's just like I'm human. I'm fine with being a human. I didn't choose to be a human. I was born this way.
Not judging. I'm just trying to understand. It's all.
Yeah. She was part of a family that was like her, and ultimately she chose to be with me instead of continue the family work.
All right. And you say she lived on the edge of the Dreadwood. She's not like an Oni or nothing like that, right? Like nothing like that.
No.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, and so she's got some kind of half dead thing.
Yeah, I'd call it that.
I mean, what is
People
it?
would people would always make stories about her family growing up. Couldn't trust them. They were dangerous. Uh, but I did I did some animal work for them, and they seemed nice enough. They paid well, and that's how I met her.
All right, so, all right, yeah, sure, that's fine. Okay. Um, yeah, I could understand why you wouldn't want Ellen and Miss Ellen know nothing about that. But I mean, I'm glad for you sharing. I'm not sure what happened between you and your wife or what type of complications that is, but obviously it doesn't seem too bad enough for you to not have a child, or I mean, I don't know if y'all adopted or what.
Oh, Sin is our child. She was like her mother.
Right.
But unfortunately, after what happened, her mother, what was it she said? She said she needed some time alone, figure things out, away from me. And I really haven't heard from her since. I tried to send that letter and haven't heard anything.
Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you gotta hurt in your heart so bad you gotta shut it off to everybody. She'll come around. You're a good guy. Don't worry about it. It's hard now, but it's hard for her too.
What a bitch.
Oh, be careful what you say, Gloob. That is my wife.
Sorry.
She's just looking out for you. I understand it's offensive, but Luke's got your back. I'm sure. As much as I know it's hurting you. He don't. I'm sure Glue don't appreciate someone hurting his friend too much.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah, but So what about your ring though?
Well, as Gloob has said and noticed, sometimes when I do something particularly poorly, uh, seems to upset my daughter, and sometimes it can seems like sometimes it can be beneficial, and sometimes it's harmful. Or I can't hear for a little bit, or I think I see something that like how I thought you were my wife's father.
Right. I mean, are you
Despite her
sure it's
from
working like? Are you sure it's working like that? I mean, are you sure it's not the ring making you mess something up when everything goes crazy?
Uh, I mean, it's hard to tell if it's the ring making me mess up, or if it just coincides with uh me messing up.
All right.
But again, I will say that there are benefits. She's protected me several times from getting hurt. She distracts the person that wants to hurt me,
Right. No, I
and
understand.
I'm able to talk to my daughter, and that's something I haven't been able to do.
Right. I wouldn't dream of taking that away from you. I don't know. It just can get dangerous sometimes if we got it in the middle of a tense situation. And if I mean, can you feel it coming on when it happens or anything like that? Can you let us know somehow?
I mean, didn't I feel like we had talked about it, and
Right. You came up with your word. And I was just letting everybody else know.
What was the word again? Pineapple?
Aquamarine.
Aquamarine.
And I mean, yeah, if I'm having that happen, I'll yell out.
Wait, wait, out of character. What? It was an aquamarine pendant you had, right? Or what was
Yes.
the jewel? Okay, I was just making sure. Now my brain was just going, wait, was it malachite though?
No, it was a malachite.
Okay, sorry.
Which reminds me, everybody knows about this, except for you, Gloop, which wasn't on purpose. I'm not trying to exclude you or anything. But I have my a daughter's pendant. It's rather important to me. Uh, that and the ring, if anything happened, I would like that given to my wife. Which, not that I expect anything to, but you know, death comes for everyone eventually, and they don't always expect it.
You gotta come for it first.
Roll for heart attack.
Oh no.
Natural one. Oh fuck! I actually
My
rolled a
food.
nat 20.
I
My
also
food-
rolled a natural 20.
My food is too hearty. I'm sorry, fellas.
Y'all's
It's
heart's
it's
doing
all-
good.
It's all bacon and queso.
I'm
every
sorry,
night.
I meant stroke. All of a sudden, all of you smell toast, and y'all did not have toast for dinner.
Oh no.
That'd be quite the con save.
I could make it.
Roll for arterial clogging. D&D
But,
getting a little too real.
I brought, well, I didn't bring it up. Bart brings it up, and I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to make it clear that if I did think that the ring was hampering the party's safety, that I would have to make some tough choices, and I will make those tough choices. I won't allow anything to happen to y'all.
I understand. I mean, there's not a one of us that wants anything bad to happen to us, so.
No one's telling you to throw it away.
Right. Of course. I'm not sure what the ring does that's beneficial. And I mean that's kind of like a call you gotta make, right? My initial suggestion was maybe take it off and put it on when we're taking rest or at night or something like that, or just when walking along you can, you know, converse with your daughter, have them moments you might be missing out on. But if something happens, to get ambushed, maybe try to just slip it off real quick or something like that. But I don't know how that works.
Could y'all imagine being near one of the people that you love the most in the world, the person that's supposed to protect you, and you know that they can tell that you're there, but you can't talk to them, and you can't feel them, can't hug them, can't comfort them when they're sad. They don't know how you feel. And then being able to do that, and then taking it away from them again, and leaving them alone, scared.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I understand. I think I'd have a pretty hard time taking that ring off too.
Julian nods knowingly.
As I said, it's a hard choice because it obviously affects y'all, but it also affects my daughter. But if it gets worse or something happens, I'll make the choice.
another bridge to be crossed when we get there.
I mean, but also, Bart, I think you were muted. I think you were about to say something.
I was. And then
What's up?
I was getting some notifications, so I remuted myself. You go ahead.
I mean, not that we have the time right now, but maybe we'll have a break in the war or just win. I don't know what that looks like, but I don't know how this stuff works. Undead magic. What is there something that you could do so you don't need the ring?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not magically inclined like Bart and Julian.
It just turns to both of them.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot that can be done. I think it'll be all right for now. I mean, I can do some magic, but I'm not well versed in magic. No one's. Right? If you understand what I'm saying.
No.
There's people who learn magic from books and things like you got, and we've collected from wizards and a lot. Those type kinds of magic is different from what I do. The powers that I wield come from Sorority and my belief in her and faith in her and the rest of Yondalla's children. And they give me gifts. The type of knowledge for doing things like that, I think, in some cases might be more akin to study and figuring magics out that I don't really understand. As far as getting that ring on the right path.
So then, Julian, you know magic from books.
No.
Where's your
Well, he
magic?
says no. He's like looking at Bart with a thoughtful expression, but he doesn't. What was that?
So then, where does your magic come from?
Not sure.
Insight check. Oh my god, 26.
Julian, I would say that's pretty. I think we could say with a fair amount of certainty that's a deception check.
Well, he's not rolling to be deceptive. It's
still
clear,
a lie.
It's clear that it's not the whole truth.
Okay, fair enough.
Sure.
I'll roll.
Okay.
I'm still figuring a lot of things out myself. Been an eventful few months. Year. Time runs together.
Yeah.
Pardon me, I gotta go gargle some rocks real quick.
To do things that are just awful on your throat. Done.
What'd you say your wife's name was, Yakin?
I'm a bad husband.
Jacob checks his notes. He pulls out his certificate of marriage.
It's right next
My
to
wife's name is Brandolith McDoonsley. She's the name is so long I have to click to the second page of notes to get the family name. She was a member of the Ranthlet family.
How's that spelled?
Arantthlet.
Oh, Well, all right. Well, all I know, ring or not, one of these days in the next coming weeks, or hopefully not months, I'm just gonna have to cook a nice big meal for Randolph and Abby, and y'all two shitheads are gonna have to sit down and enjoy yourselves a little bit.
I like that.
All right. In the meantime, keep your damn ring. Just, if you go blind or can't hear nothing, let me know. And yeah, I wouldn't dare want to put your daughter through that or you through that. So let's just be careful with it. Yeah.
All
Be
right.
safe. All right. Someone needs to go get Ella. I can't step outside the dawn.
I'll do that. I'll poke my head out. Miss Ella,
Yes,
finished our conversation. I appreciate your discretion.
of course. Just kind of walking back in.
But yeah, that's weird. I mean, we hadn't even been eating any rice. Anyway.
Uh-huh.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Confused frog. I'm not sure what a confused frog looks like, but that's...
Like Gloob does in his artwork.
Here's...
He gives like the Kermit like face.
Oh, wait, just like... So is Gloob just a Muppet? Is that the conclusion we're coming to? Now he's just going... "Ah!" Stab!
God dang it! Now I'm just imagining Kermit with the pump action crossbow, but purple.
I do need to get that soon.
The
Gotta
pump
complete the
action
look.
crossbow.
Yeah.
Good
All
lord.
right. Sorry to make you wait out there, Ella.
Oh no.
Guy talk.
Oh, I'm sure.
Took a few minutes. We did each other's nails.
Right?
They
That was
look
a joke.
lovely.
Don't worry.
Do you have nails, Glue?
No.
No. That would be
I imagine Glue.
horrifying to
What?
behold.
Why do we need nails? Am I supposed to have some in the bag of holding?
Pulls out. He just pulls out a bag of human fingernails. Y'all just didn't know he had been collecting them.
I meant more like construction nails.
Oh, I know. I know what you meant, but
Never mind, Glue is going to jail.
they only came from dead people.
Yeah. They were dead when he found them.
Anywho, is there anything else anybody would like to do this evening?
Other than finishing that letter.
Absolutely. Of which you can send me the contents of at whatever point. And
I have it. In a
unless you
Google
just
Doc.
never get it mailed, and then it won't matter.
We never make it back to Saltmarsh.
Foreshadowing. Not really. Or is it?
What time are we going to bed and what time are we waking up?
It's up to you guys.
I mean, we can go to bed whenever. It's getting pretty dark. But hell.
What? I thought this was at the end of the day that we were having this conversation.
Yeah, this is the evening. So
Okay.
y'all are all hanging out around the fire.
I was
Otherwise, it'd be
envisioning-
really hard to have Ella just walk off while y'all were trundling down the road.
I was kind of envisioning Julian having to do like the book tilt to get the light of the fire to write with and all that.
Right.
I figured you were just using your amazing dark vision shark abilities to see in the dark.
That too. He had to put on his reading glasses, just go.
Yeah.
Got the little chain dangling down behind his ears. Sat on the tip end of his nose as he writes. All right. Well, that
when
being
we
said,
take watches, Julian will volunteer for because You Bard always takes the last watch, correct?
Old
Right.
good bear
Make
jam.
Julian will
How much
volunteer
bread
for
do
the
you
third
have?
watch.
Say,
You know,
You've
that's a
gone
pretty
through, like-
good point. That's
I'd
a
say you're
really good
probably
point.
out of
Probably
you're
done.
out of bread.
All right.
It's good berry. It's just the jam.
We just
Just
smear
gotta-
it on our hands.
Just
You just gotta put it in Capri Sun packets.
oh, I don't think that would go
Just
up the little
Shake
straw.
it up in a water spread, and you just have a little berry medley.
There
Oh
we
yeah,
go.
that's what we do. We find some fruits. You got a little berry medley. There we go.
Yeah, you probably ran out of toast a while ago on this
That's
particular
noted.
journey.
I-
Just
I will-
with the number of
I'll-
people involved.
Yeah. I'll make
They'll
sure
eat
to
a
get
lot of
double
bread.
a double helping of toast the next time we get to Saltmarsh.
He actually buys it pre-toasted, and then he just puts the jam on there. That's
sacrilege.
a secret. That's a
Sacrilege.
secret.
The mold makes it better.
The Michelin chef.
It doesn't get moldy in the bag of
uses
holding.
the microwave.
You just have to
Does it
stick your
keep-
hand in there and think toast, and then you just pull out a piece of toast. Like, done.
Does it keep the same temperature?
More or less. Like, it's not particularly hot or cold in there. There's no air. So
Alright.
it is an extra dimensional space.
I'll take third watch.
Sure.
Oh, I think Julian just said he wanted to take third.
Oh, I'm
watch.
sorry.
Yeah,
Second.
dummy.
I will take first.
Sure.
And Ella can rest.
Y'all are so kind. Her fragile bones. Alright. So. If-
And when people are getting ready to bed down, I will kind of, under my breath, kind of ask Ella, like, well, you know, if you need any extra healing or anything like that, you know, you can let me know. Like, don't be
no.
proud.
I
Like
don't
it-
think that this
aches
is
the pain.
something that magic can really assuage.
I mean, if I was a little bit younger, I mean, I'd probably offer to give you a massage, but I think we're both past our prime. We'll get too much of an audience for that.
Oh shit.
Roll just a raw charisma check. Just judge
That's,
reaction.
That's a 21.
She just kind of raises her eyebrows at you. Says, if only.
Just kind of like see the looks around. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with giving a woman a massage. I don't
Julian
know
is
what y'all-
very directly not looking in that direction.
Yep, just straight down.
Ella just kind of glances around to the encampment and just goes, how about we don't?
I have no intention to have anything to do with the fucking Ella.
Hey man, stop being flirtatious then. That's your own fault.
I can't help having a high charisma. You gotta. Never mind.
Good
In any
lord.
case, yeah,
You are your father's son.
I guess so.
That's
I
funny to
guess
that's
so.
funny to me. That's not funny to any of the rest of y'all.
They know how many brothers and sisters. I have.
that's a good point. They do know that. Oh god, but they don't know the rest. That's what makes it funny. But anywho, that being said,
13 on my perception check.
I'll
I'll
just
be right.
Intentional 0 on my perception check.
okay. That's crazy. You don't even notice the dome disappear. Just gone. No, not really. If I say this dude's over here doing fucking quantum mechanics, like to figure this perception.
Well, because I have to add and subtract.
You do?
I've failed several.
Oh, that'll do it.
For the
Okay.
actual perception check, it is a 12.
Okay, sure. So, Even though Bart's not here to roll his, I will say, just easily enough, the night does pass relatively quietly. Y'all just don't notice much. It's like, I don't see anything out there, but that doesn't mean there's nothing there.
We're not
Julian,
in the Dreadwood anymore. Everybody's just like, fuck whatever comes at us. Like,
say that now.
this is true.
But basically, I could definitely understand that that mentality. But the night does pass uneventfully. Yes, Julian.
Julian will be staying up for a little bit to talk to Bart on Bart's watch.
Sure.
When he wakes him up to change watches.
All right.
After waking him up and Bart getting up and getting his things ready for watch or whatever, Julian doesn't say anything at first, but instead of going directly back to bed, just sits by the fire with Bart. So,
Mm-hmm.
Where's the awkward tab for Soundtail?
yeah. How does Sorolli gives you your magic, right? That's what you were saying earlier.
Right?
How?
Because I believe in her and she believes in me.
Do you like a ritual or
Yeah.
a prayer, or how did that thing start? Not all of her followers do the things that you do.
Sure. I mean, some people believe in Sorolli and ask her for guidance, and she might answer their prayers or not. Man, it's not something that you can just get or stumble across. I mean, you gotta hold on to it. You gotta
Did you talk to her?
talk to her every day.
No, and she talked back to you.
Ain't a difference. I mean, you heard of faith before, right?
I worship several gods myself. You've seen it.
Right. And you believe in them, whether or not they talk to you back.
I know they talk to others, theoretically.
Right?
But I've never done magic from them. Never known anyone who has. I mean, I've heard of it, never seen it.
Right? Well,
Does the magic of all gods work like that?
as far as I know, they do. That's how mine works. I assume that's how the rest of them work.
Is it only gods that do that? Give magic?
I suppose not. I suppose in a way, when God bless us to carry forth and do the things that we do to help us out combat, that's that's me giving you a gift that was given to me, but hell, for all I know, could have been given to Sorolli, but I mean, I don't see why there couldn't be someone else that somebody worships to and gets their magic from them if they have that capability.
Worships, huh?
Sure.
He's gonna be like rubbing his neck scar a little bit, like. Does it ever just happen?
What do you mean?
God or whatever give magic to someone or power.
Oh yeah, of course. Miracles happen every day.
Miracle makes it sound like a good thing.
Sure. I mean, I suppose curses. You could, if you wanted to be kind of a more cynical sort, curses happen every day.
Just gonna be quiet for a little bit and kind of contemplate while looking at the fire.
You all right?
mean, in this moment, yes. I'm not being stabbed or burned or having a nervous breakdown, but there's a whole damn lot I don't understand about my own life, and that seems a little fucked up.
Yeah? You want to know a secret? It don't get any better.
Wonderful news.
Yep. Just gotta go with the flow. Try not to fuck it up anymore or fuck anybody else's life up. But you obviously got something on your mind, and you know it's always a lot easier if somebody helps you carry that load.
It talks to me sometimes.
All right, what's it?
Not very sure. Whatever let me do this.
And like prestidigitation, some watery tendrils or whatever.
All right.
I was a fisherman, Bart. I had some excitement in my life, but not this.
I just assumed that was part of, the rest of it.
No, I don't think.
Okay. What do you think?
Doesn't immediately answer. He will take out the coin that you've seen before, the one he asked you if you recognized the symbol on it.
I've got a story to tell you. And I respect your opinion, so I'll take your 2 cents.
Your 2 coppers.
Well, I mean, I like stories.
And I'll leave the big fish out of this one.
All right.
And he's going to tell you a story about a boat crashing on some rocks in an unexpected storm during a fishing trip, being taken captive by a stranger with a refined voice that performed a unknown number of years of experiments and skin grafts on him and many others, forced pit fights, and a whole lot of blurry bits he can't remember super clearly. And then on one of the days that he doesn't remember clearly, being told that it is a shame that he was a failure and having his throat cut and tossed into the ocean. And while he was in the ocean, he heard a mysterious voice that spoke to him while surrounded with sharks and asking him if he would hunt. And in that moment, filled with only hate for the person who cut his throat, he said yes. And whatever it was in the water with him saying, the deal was made. And waking up later at some point, able to do things he couldn't explain. And in possession of that coin.
Well, son, it sounds like you made a bargain with something special for sure.
I don't even know what the bargain was.
He laughs a little exasperatedly.
Well, I mean, you said it talks to you. What's it want you to do?
Interestingly enough, it seems like what was on the cover. Hunt.
Just hunt?
Not much more specificity than that.
Well, I mean,
It's not always as clear as words, its intentions and feelings. Almost primal, maybe. Best word I can think of.
Sounds like a really evil man. Spent a lot of time and effort and magic trying to turn you into a monster. And despite his best efforts, seems like he didn't get his wish and saw that as a failure. Slit your throat and dump you out in the ocean. I don't know who you were talking to or what you might have been talking to, but I don't know. Sounds like it thinks that you might be a monster or a predator or something like that too. Do you feel like a predator?
Sometimes. When we were tracking in the woods, most of the time in those woods, it was stronger there, or more raw, maybe is a better term.
I don't know. And you said you did it as a hateful act.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I really don't know what's going on, but
My time there was not pleasant.
well, as far as him trying to turn you to a monster, it sounds like maybe your hatred in the end might have been the closest you ever got to being one. That moment. And maybe whoever you're talking to saw that in you and jumped on the occasion to make a bargain. Do you feel like you're a predator?
Like I said, comes and goes. Heat of the moment, oftentimes, yes. But I don't know, it didn't feel hateful, whatever it was. Not really. It was bloodthirsty, but not in a evil way, I guess.
Well,
It's hard to explain.
maybe, maybe there's an entity out there that saw this man making a mockery of creatures, of predators, of, animal parts mixed on humans, trying to do whatever he was trying to do to make what I assume to be a weapon, if what I understand from what was on that ship. And that there might have been a benevolent entity out there that didn't take so kind to that and wants to get rid of this man making false predators. That the predator, that deity or other being or whoever it is that made a pact with you wants him to hunt the real prey, which is the man that did you wrong. That only in letting you go did he really get what he wanted to make in the first place.
I hope you're right.
I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. You're still you, Julian. You can choose whatever you want to.
The still being me part is what I'm worried about losing. I don't know how any of this works.
Don't get any easier.
Thank you. I'm gonna get some sleep.
All right. I'm always got big old halfling ears open if you need to talk more.
With an appreciative nod, Julian will go head off to try and get some sleep.
22 on my perception check.
It's miles better than everybody else has done so far.
That's a flat roll, right? Let's start.
Yeah. Correct.
So you actually see
Yeah.
The 20-strong flock of harpies hanging out outside the bubble.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep. On the nose, how did you know?
They're all pirate harpies. Harpies.
Yar, yar, yar. Damn it. That's gotta be a thing now. Y'all ready for Halloween? When you fight some yarpies? Hell yes, that's actually a really good idea. I've got to find as many monsters that I can make puns like that with. They don't necessarily have to be pirates, but you get the idea. Like, that could be. Anywho, with your 22, as with the others, is a relatively peaceful night, but you a little more noticing of, I guess, the more natural wildlife, like what is probably small animals moving through the brush around, some owls and whatnot, other more natural wildlife than what y'all have been used to in the past few days, past week or so that y'all spent within the Dreadwood. But other than that, it does pass uneventfully, bringing us into the second day of your travel.
All right.
So, is there anything anybody would like to do during the second day of travel?
Oh, customary trek to the river.
Of course. All right. Aside from that, anything in particular anybody wants to do today before you
I
arrive back in
assume that
Saltmarsh?
we left Saltmarsh last time at around noon, right? So we should be relatively close.
It wasn't around noon. Y'all did leave in the morning because
Oh, okay.
y'all Gloob spent a sleepless night and y'all all got an early morning.
Right.
Because y'all were like, yeah, the sooner we get gone, the better, so we can get going. So y'all actually, you'll probably arrive at still similar, like coming in on evening time as when you arrived in Burle. So,
Right.
unless there is anything anybody would like to do during the day, we will fast forward to your arrival back in Saltmarsh.
I think I'm good.
That works.
Before we fast forward,
Yeah.
or I guess during the time we
Yeah,
are
during the
fast-forwarding,
travel time. Yeah.
I would be talking to Bart about my symptoms, which
Oh yeah, I'll take care
getting
of
more
those.
severe.
Yeah.
It's a well, it was less restoration too, so you can do quite a few of those. If
How
you
many
really-
are you doing?
I don't know. Depends on how many you ask me.
I'm still feeling unwell after one.
I'll hit you with 2.
He says, "Aha! I was waiting for you to use 2. Now T-Rex."
I'll just wait. Depending on how many times he needs to be hit, he may start wearing into his 3rd level spells, and then that'll be when it gets exciting. Boy, that's crazy.
That is wild.
That's crazy. Death Knight.
I
Bow!
I will let Yakim know. It's a lot easier for me to try to do those later at night. Just that, if we can maybe catch some symptoms early before going to bed, they might not be so bad in the morning.
All right. Hopefully this is almost done. It feels pretty bad right now, but I don't know. It's always darkest before the dawn. That's what I don't know, somebody told me. I can't remember.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Well, get some water. Get hydrated. It's all right if you drink. Just don't make it alcohol.
All right.
Poison.
Also, Dungeon Master, you should
Yes,
now
sir.
have that letter in your
Yeah, I saw
messenger chat.
Yeah, I saw it pop up. Perfect. All right. So, Gloob, were you saying you want to do something?
Mm.
No. Okay. So, the rest of y'all's travel uneventful, aside from sore asses. For those who are inexperienced in the riding horses department. But coming up on evening, as with your trip to Burle, y'all begin to approach the town of Saltmarsh. the now not shocking image of tents and stuff set up on the outskirts as you approach. Seeming just eyeballing to probably be about the same size. Not quite sure if it's gotten any bigger or smaller. But as you ride in, looking out, shit. I have y'all's passive perceptions written down for this exact reason. I'm on the wrong notepad, though. That would be why I didn't see it initially. Okay, gravy. There we are, with the fixed one and everything. Easily enough, all of you above having at least a couple over 10 on your passive. As y'all are riding through to kind of circumvent your way through the camp, various and sundry camps to get to Saltmarsh proper, there appear to be a lot more walking wounded than last time y'all were here. A lot more people with minor injuries, bandages over arms, arms in slings, bandages over across heads, that kind of thing. As y'all approach the gate, which you'll note definitely has more guards than, way back when y'all first entered Saltmarsh. Way back in the day, they definitely have beefed up security since then, and probably since y'all left. There are about 6 guards.
Does it seem like the town was attacked?
Y'all haven't gotten into the town yet.
Can I stand up on the cart and make like a perception check?
There is a wall.
I don't know how big this wall is.
Yeah, it's the wall that y'all are approaching from is the actual wall. There is there's the remnants of what had been a stone fortification at one point in time, but it is only on this side of town.
Damage to the outer walls.
Not that you can see. Okay. As y'all approach the guards that are on duty, see y'all and raise up a hand as y'all get closer. Looks around. Eleander said that you all would be returning in the next few days.
Yep.
Supposed to go straight to him. Come on.
Okay. How things holding up here? Looking rough.
He's kind of just waving y'all in, and a couple, about 4 of them break off from the guard, and he waves to send somebody to get some people to replace the 4 of them as they kind of 4 box corners around you guys as you guys go through the town. The guy that you're asking the question to is not good.
Right.
It's been they were holding a bit back, it seems like, before.
That's not good. I guess Firebrand will give me the details then.
I'm sure. And as y'all go through the town, it's not like it goes super far to go to get to the jail and Eleander's offices. Y'all will note as you go along, town folk and those just wandering around are getting some sidelong looks. Some seeming suspicious, others a little more contemplative, but none that are necessarily friendly.
All right.
But people mutter, see as you guys pass, some people put their heads together and kind of muttering together as they watch y'all pass. But then y'all do.
What kind of muttering are they saying about us? Can we pick up on any of that?
Roll a perception check for me.
Yeah, I'd like to listen to that as well. Dirty 20 with advantage.
Okay.
An 18 without advantage.
Sure.
So assuming the worst.
Just to kind of break it down as y'all are going through, you don't have a ton of time, so from bits and pieces it's gathering, it seems like the people know about what happened, and it just from as the brief a brief amount of time, and just from the bits and pieces, that seems to be what they're commenting on. Is like, hey, they're back. They're the ones who killed that guy, and the one back in the jail, and oh yeah, those are them, and stuff like that. But y'all aren't not sticking around long enough to get more than just kind of surface level of things they're saying.
After Julian picks up on what they're talking about, he's gonna lower his scarf and give a big old toothy grin to the first huddled group of heads he sees after that.
Sure, roll an intimidation check.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's what I'm assuming you're going for.
I mean, I didn't think it was people I'd actually be interacting with, so I didn't think I was going to be rolling.
They're actively looking at you, so.
That will be a 23.
They look shaken and quickly almost immediately turn away from where they were looking at you and speed walk in a different direction.
With a satisfied nod, he will put his scarf back up.
Julian, don't want the people to think we're monsters. Please.
They already think we're monsters. Might as well.
No, not might as well. People can think what they want. But if we become monsters, that's not an option.
Some of us are already walking monsters. Let's just get there.
None of
Hold
you
on.
are monsters.
Oh yeah, none of us are monsters. They don't know the whole story. Let them be ignorant and stupid. Not a one of them that didn't look at some of us funny the first time we came into town anyway. They can keep looking at us funny and whispering all they want. Probably save half their damn lives anyway. They can be ungrateful. That's fine. They're still breathing.
Okay. So, like I said, it's a relatively short journey to get to the jail. As y'all do, the guards wave y'all inside that they'll keep an eye on the horses and cart while you're meeting with Firebrand. Definitely heightened security at the jail itself. There are a large handful of guards, almost about the same number as there were at the gate, standing guard outside. So just 3 stacked on either side of the door. Let y'all in. There are guards inside. You see a couple that are down near the cells themselves, as well as a couple standing around the office area. As y'all approach, Eleander's door is closed. The guards out front inform you that Eleander is currently meeting, or Captain Firebrand is currently meeting with Council Member Copperlux. He will see you as soon as he is finished with her. These ones on the inside that are outside of his door appear markedly more professional and well-armed. And as y'all begin to wait to meet with Eleander, that is where we're going to go ahead and take our break. So,
shit.
Quick.
Yeah, I know. That's why I looked down. I was like, holy shit, it's already 9 o'clock. But anywho, we're going to pop out about 15 minutes or so, take a quick bio, refresh drinks, all that fun stuff. Take a trip down to the stream, as Bart would say. But we will return soon thereafter to continue our parties, our heroes' return to Saltmarsh. So we'll be back here shortly. Don't go anywhere. Bye! And we're back. Hello, everybody. That's Eleander's new voice. Are y'all ready for it?
Oh,
I just changed it up like complete 180 while y'all were gone. Anywho, welcome back to our second half of this here session of Ghost of Saltmarsh, where it's been exciting. Been exciting times here in Greyhawk. But anywho, our heroes began their journey. It's a quick recap of the first half. Beginning their journey back to Saltmarsh, having several insightful and contemplative conversations, deciding how they were going to handle things when they go back to Saltmarsh, regardless of the outcome. basically decided they were going to present a united front, come what may, as well as some other openings up between characters, particularly Julian talking to Bart about some stuff, perhaps about kind of figuring out where his power comes from and how a patron may be similar or not, or how his patron may be similar or not to Sorololi or any other god who grants abilities, as it were. But the second day, finishing their journey in the evening, arriving back in Saltmarsh, seeing things might seem to be potentially taking a turn for the worse, at least on a visual level, of observing the mercenaries and such that are camped outside of Saltmarsh's walls, as well as being told that they were to go straight to Eleander Firebrand upon their return. Noticing some whisperings and glances from the townsfolk, gathering that news of Gloob's deed before departing this last time has spread among the people. They did make their way to Firebrand's office, which also resides in the jail, as weird as that may be, or as convenient, I guess, for him at least, and have been set to wait outside of his office as he is currently meeting with a fellow council member, Manistrad Copperlocks, as they were informed. And that is where we will return. Y'all are outside of his office, 2 guards on either side of his door, and y'all have been tasked to hold off for the moment. Is there anything that any of you would like to do as you wait around?
There are how many guards around?
Immediately right in front of you, there are 2 that seem to be guarding his office area. There are several that are down more near the jail cell side, as well as there's 2 that are down near the jail cell side. One that is positioned in the hallway that Gloob, that you'll remember, leads back towards the armory and an evidence room kind of deal.
Just how many are in the immediate speaking vicinity?
Speaking vicinity, unless you raise your voice, just the 2 that are outside of Firebrand's office.
Folding his arms and going up to them, Julian's gonna speak to them.
So we've been gone for a couple weeks trying to negotiate for reinforcements for the fight. But when we got back, it looked real rough. We got some vague comment from the guard out front about him holding back before what happened. It looks bad, guys.
Dude looks over to his companion. Well, y'all were gone. Not too handful of days ago, probably 3 or 4 days ago, I imagine at this juncture. Series of attacks. We've been skirmishing with them, mostly within the swamp, a little bit in the sea itself. That'd be mostly the elves and merfolk and the like that have an easier time down in the water. Have been holding out there. We've been slight skirmishes, lightly armored folks, lightly armored Sahagin that come up, hit fast, not particularly intelligently, but mostly trying to use the element of surprise to do what damage they can. Occasionally, beefier bastards come along and mostly just brute force more than anything, not any particular skill, but they came at us a lot harder and a lot faster and a lot more smart. Seems they got actual soldiers in there somewhere.
Well,
they weren't sending them out till just now. And
we're about to get mean too. We just had a not insignificant number of hardened veterans from the Dreadwood garrison that'll be joining us as soon as logistics are worked out. Hopefully, that'll make a difference.
Heard good things about those folks. They know what they're about. They'll probably do well in the swamps, I imagine.
Not friendly people, but good at what they do.
I wouldn't be friendly if I was posted up there either, I don't think.
What little time we spent there, I agree.
Has the king sent any reinforcements yet?
Not in my knowledge. Things getting caught
course
up in
not.
things getting caught up in Seaton.
Shocker.
He just shrugs. Like, what can you do? But we're doing what we can here. We just having to do a little bit of recovery time after that. It pretty bad. We had to convert one of the oh god, what are those things called? Things down at the docks, big storage buildings.
Warehouses?
Warehouses, there we go. Had to convert one of the warehouses into a kind of a field hospital. A lot of folks in there hurt bad. Probably won't be doing much fighting anymore. I don't think. Even if they make it.
Julian's just gonna shake his head with his arms still folded.
Damn it.
That's all I got until.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
I assume we were close enough to hear that conversation.
I would imagine so, unless he was speaking in hushed tones.
No, I was just.
Like this isn't a big area. Like y'all can hear vague murmuring, like beyond the door, even. Like it's not a giant area.
Julian wasn't like lowering his voice or anything. He was just talking to try and get caught up on the local news.
Sure.
I'll wait until. Well, when I see Julian wrapping up this conversation, I'll just turn my sword real quick and use Captain's talent to give me advantage on charisma checks.
Just give me a brief sleight of hand. Quick
Okay.
sleight of hand.
Does the Julian conversation give me advantage or no?
Sure. I'll say so. They're engaged.
That is a natural 20. For 28.
Nobody notices you.
Hell yeah.
For all they can tell, you're just giving the pommel of your sword a brief caress.
That what we're calling it these days.
You know it. Can I help you? All right. So for the next hour, you will have advantage on all charisma checks and stuff. So. All right.
Then Ian says, now that conversation takes about an hour and a half.
No.
No.
It does not take that long. It does take a little bit. Y'all are probably sat there for probably about another 30 minutes ish, maybe a little under that, before the door opens and y'all see the, I guess, vaguely familiar form of Manistrad Copperlocks. Probably the council member y'all have spent the least amount of time addressing.
Is he the Miners Guild dude?
She is, yeah.
Oh, she is. All right.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah,
she will get.
She is the leader of the dwarves that were sent to do business, do the king's business here in Saltmarsh.
Julian looks like he smelled something bad.
As she opens the door and you see her preparing to exit, she's looking over her shoulder. Well, then I will see you later, Firebrand. He's sat at his desk, nods, and she turns and walks out, just kind of glancing at you guys with a mixture of thoughtful and set facial expression, determined, I guess I would say, as she makes her way to exit the building.
Have a good day, man.
Just kind of a little distracting. Hey, you as well. Just keeps on walking. Yeah. And y'all are. Firebrand raises a hand and gestures you all to enter.
I'll bring him that note.
We will be the last one in.
Okay. So, as y'all enter, familiar sight. Desk seems to be full of paperwork, maps, some smaller, some bigger. More broad spaces, others more localized that are kind of blown up onto smaller sheets of paper. And he is Similarly, as per usual, armored, except for gauntlets, it looks like. He's got some, looks to be like some deep bags under his eyes at this juncture. As you all enter.
Corner Captain, got some loose paperwork here from you from the fort up there.
Holds out a hand and takes it from you and pops open the seal and reads over it. A few seconds, sets it down. That
Seems
should
like
do
you'll be
very
needing
nicely.
those reinforcements.
And that wasn't like in a threatening comment. That was like a
Yeah.
commiserating
It
comment.
just- Need may be an understatement.
Heard a little bit of what was going on, but not sure how bad it really is. Enlighten us a little bit.
It's not good. They inflict. Previous engagements have been much more tertiary, mostly wounded, not many actual fallen. Looks like they've been probing our defenses. Here and there, more serious injured. Mostly been an issue of morale. But we allowed ourselves to be complacent. And they took full advantage of that. The actual
Alright.
soldiers came out and did quite a number on patrols and the like. One of which your friend was the only survivor, the elf. The rest of his men didn't make it.
How is he?
Recuperating, from what I understand.
What of the nearby island? Did we manage to hold it down?
Seems to be for the moment. We have men out there now. Mariners Guild have set themselves up so they can send out patrols. Regularly, at least. And quickly.
Okay.
While I am glad for your news of reinforcements, I can't say that I'm glad to see the lot of you return.
Right? Why is that?
He just looks over at Gloob. Your stunt is causing problems. I couldn't tell you how. Well, couldn't tell you how, but I can most likely not tell you why. News spread despite my attempts to quash it. Very quickly. Unreasonably quickly. We jailed the man you bribed. He currently sits in the cell of the man you killed. Both of them, anyway, as he decided to split with one of the others. I do not take kindly to the betrayal of my trust, which the lot of you have. You see, that they blame the people, believe that I had you kill him, or one of the council members had you kill him as a proxy.
In the middle of a war, with many dead and dying, others injured, our stability here threatened, and they're worried about the murder of a murderer.
When the people here, many of them at least, not particularly happy to have myself and my men, and the miners or the king's authority present, yes, they are happy even, or maybe not happy, but there's a place to take out their stress and worries. They blame it on us. They didn't want us here in the first place. And when you have scared people, angry people, and then you have somebody spreading information that is falsified among them, and without my knowledge before I can do anything about it, then yes, it is causing me problems.
Why don't... Do you have anybody that could spread the truth, potentially? Of...
It is too late for that, son.
Well, I'm not talking about the truth of what surrounded the death of that man, but more of the truth of what we have done. While obviously our reputations are heavily damaged, it will show that we have done a lot for the town.
All that you have
He's
done
not-
is currently has been tarnished by this information. As far as they're concerned, you're a bunch of mercenaries. You've done what you've done because we paid you to. And you killed that man because I paid you to, apparently.
The good Master Firebrand isn't worried about our reputation, Jakob.
Well, clearly what has happened has affected the morale around town. And, I mean, we haven't been paid to do... We haven't even discussed payment for getting the reinforcements. We did that on just because it was what the town needed.
Sounds like a good opportunity for you and yours to prove the necessity of your presence, Firebrand.
I believe I have done that. Quint many times over at this point. This town still stands because of me and my men's presence.
They're not throwing you out yet.
Oh,
A
no.
little extra.
They cannot afford to. I suspect this is being done to, unintelligently as it might be, because it is causing problems in wartime. This is being done ahead of time, so that once I have saved their asses from the fire, and from the coming storm, from the hungry waters, that they can undermine my authority, and they can undermine my presence, and that of the crown.
Well,
But it
during
may
these
be our
tribulations,
ruin.
it seems like it will cause you no further problem as long as you don't step out of line in the eyes of the people. You continue to prove yourself.
I would
servant
hold
of
your tongue,
Saltmarsh.
boy.
I don't think you're making things too much better there, Julian. Sounds more like you're happy this happened, which doesn't help anybody. Man's trying to save these people from their own ignorance, and fighting a war against ignorance is a lot harder war to fight against a bunch of Swahagans from the depths.
Has the crown responded to our need?
Julian grins at that.
Yeah. Where's the royal troops, Firebrand?
If you'd rather taunt him, Julian, I'd ask that you leave. Because what
No, I
that's
wanna hear
doing
it.
is not helping.
He knows I don't like him.
He just looks at you levelly.
Looking right back.
I have not had you jailed yet.
I didn't do anything.
Ah. You've done plenty.
Yeah, to save your ass. Where would you be without our warning?
Presumably still fighting Sahuagin.
Regardless of what's happened in the past, and whoever shit feels like stinks the less in this whole pissing match of a conversation, let's just figure out what needs to be done next.
In regards to the question of seat, the governor has seen fit to make light of our plight. And so we have not received aid as of yet. It must go through the governor, as he is the governor of this region of Kioland. He handles our requests for aid. So, I have implored him to send down somebody who may assess the situation, and am awaiting a response. Now, as I have said, the people's trust is faltering, as y'all took advantage of my trust. You brought this man to me to take into custody and to do justice. And then you turned and murdered him while he was in my care. That trust will not be earned back easily. However, at this time, as with the murdered, I do not have time, nor the energy, nor the resources to handle this properly. So, due to your all's aid, I will not detain you, as I did the murdered. And only because of the aid you have rendered my town. If you wish to continue to do good by this town, wonderful. I'm sure perhaps that will go some way towards repairing the rift that has been created. Funnily enough, Mr. Rossi, I may look to your bedfellows as to the cause of this rift. Those posing as merchants are quick to undermine the crown, as it benefits them.
You would look to fishermen, then.
Fishermen oftentimes are also in the same boat. But those who your sympathies lie with, I imagine. Those of a more traditional mindset. So, if Saltmarsh falls because of lack of unity, be it on their heads. I cannot imagine who is stupid enough to do so in this trying of a time, but they have seen fit to take advantage of the situation, or at least think they are. I do not have time nor the expertise in my wheelhouse to deal with such a thing. I will do what I do, which is fight and wage war. That was why I was sent here, was to protect this town. Not I expected to be more from the sea, as that was why we were sent, was to protect from those scourges, but still from the sea, just not in the same way.
Alright, so this governor, he don't want to give us any aid down here.
He is doing everything in his power to drag his feet, as it were, in the bureaucratic process. And because he is in a place of power in this region, he is very easily able to do so.
So is that our next objective, is to get this governor to move his feet along?
No. You will not be able to. There's too much red tape. They will not see you. As of this moment, I do not have any more intelligence that I could share with you. Unfortunately, if you are still able to or willing to go and try to do what our scouts have not, wonderful. However, I cannot remain. I am going to the front lines.
Alright.
I can no longer afford to command from this far back. It is too slow. Now that they are moving more openly, more freely, with what appears to be a command of their own, if my reports are to be believed, we will not last. So, I'll be exiting Saltmarsh with as many men as I can take. Skeleton crew, as it were, for the law, to prevent riots at the very least. Do what I can there.
I take it, what is going to be the case with the Rangers? Taking them to the front as well?
I believe so. Depending on the exact numbers of which, it sounds like the majority will be the Rangers. Shadowbreaker is a sharp woman. She understands that as small of a number as she can send, they will do the most good in there. I believe they will be able to adapt a lot of their strategies and expertise to the more marshy areas. But yes, they'll be coming to the front. We cannot afford to allow this to become a protracted, or we will not win. So, unless there are any other questions or condemnations that some of you would like to throw around, I would ask that you leave me to my preparations.
Of course.
Then please,
Well.
get out.
Right.
And away we go.
I'll linger back for a little bit. Firebrand, didn't mean for things to happen this way. I hope I see you again.
Nobody ever does.
As we leave, I'm going to point at Julian very sharply and go, Julian, come with me now. I'm going to find the nearest stockade. Not stockade, gallows.
There is one. That is the norm for those that have committed a heinous enough crime within the town of Saltmarsh. It's relatively close by to the jailhouse.
If Julian follows, I'm going to take him there.
Sure. He follows you, but seems distracted by something else at the time.
Do you want to see Gloob up there? Do you want to see him swing? Because what you said in there, the way you taunted him, I don't care what your opinions are about the crown. I don't. You and I, we differ on that. But I don't want to see him swing. I don't want to see Gloob swing in the way you were talking to Eleander, the way you taunted him. It doesn't make him view us any better after what happened.
He can't.
And if anything, it puts Gloob at more risk in the future.
Gloob was not at real risk, Jakob.
That man is the man who decides Gloob's fate at the end of this.
And if he tried that, I'd decide his.
So we're gonna slaughter whole town.
I'd take him. We could get him out. Have some confidence. I guarantee you what we did in that forest, what we managed, was more difficult than they could do with us.
So where would we go? Would we go back to the forest? Because we already saw what happened to people that look like us in that forest. We've already made enemies in that forest.
You think they have the resources right now to chase us? You think they have the resources to turn down our help to even start going that route?
At the end of this,
Firebrand's
they will.
hands were tied. If he had the ability to right now, he might have done something. He can't. He needs us more than he needs his petty revenge against Gloob for his reputation.
I
It's
mean,
not.
you realize the man's going off to die, right? You know he's not coming back. The guy's giving his life for your damn town, and you're calling him a piece of shit. What's wrong with you? He's going to the front lines.
He's not going to die. He's going to stop other men from dying. It's
What
not
have you
about...
been doing this whole time? I mean, if you don't like him, that's fine, but the man's here trying to get help for your town. Of all the politics aside, the guy's not doing anything wrong. I don't get it.
Hold on.
What's...
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. That looks juicy.
God damn, it's fucking hot. Whew.
You're right. This is spicy.
Light
It's
dot,
so
dude. I'm
spicy.
fucking like, oh, I'm warm.
Oh god, I gotta figure out how to interpret this. No.
Chop chop.
Actually, I know exactly how we're gonna interpret that.
Fine.
And he's going to walk off towards the boat.
And I walk away.
And he walks away.
The classic.
Sorry, I was rolling to see how well he was reacting to that, and I rolled a nat 1. I was like,
I don't...
last thing he says, he walks off.
He's a goddamn hero, of course.
Did I miss something?
I asked to the rest of the party.
Blue was probably just walking up and seeing Julian storming off and you two talking in front of a fucking gallows, just like looking around.
Uncomfortable frog.
Everything okay?
don't know. Julian seems pretty awfully hot and bothered about Firebrand. I don't understand why he doesn't like the fellow too. Sure, he's a political figure. He's going to the front lines to help defend the town. He's going to fight, the same as the rest of us. What's the big deal?
Well, I was hoping to tell everybody this. I'm not going to tell Firebrand because he doesn't need another thing on his plate. If he makes it back, I'll tell him. I talked to one other person. Unless it's someone just being opportunistic, which it very well may be. I talked to one other person before I killed Balin.
Right.
I talked to Anders.
Does Anders have any particular reason to not like Firebrand?
That's above me. I don't know. It could. It could again. Just maybe someone's just taking advantage of the situation. But it's obviously someone close because they knew it was us.
You might.
I mean,
I'd keep that information close.
Logically speaking, if you only talked to Anders, then it was either that man you gave money to or Anders, because I mean, logic would dictate if we brought some people to jail, that we'd be the last people damn kill them, because we went through the process of bringing them here in the first place.
Yeah.
So somebody had to specifically say it was us, right?
You might not want to. I mean, you can tell Firebrand that, but no, you might not want to tell anybody else.
I'm not going to tell Firebrand right now. He's going to the front lines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's effectively doesn't have control of the city anymore. He's basically a general now. So whatever captain or commander, or I'm not familiar with all the dang ranks. Anyway, if someone's trying to undermine the hierarchy of Saltmarsh, that seems like a pretty big threat to its well-being. That's just kind of the way I'm seeing it.
I mean,
yeah.
If there's a rebellion here, kings don't tend to like rebellions. Especially, they can't have successful rebellions under their rule.
I'm going to be completely frank with you, Yak. If I don't think they give two shits if this place rebels, if they're not going to give two shits from it getting ripped to shreds by a bunch of fish people.
It sets a bad precedent, Bart. If one city is able to rebel and successfully and establish their own whatever, what stops another city from doing it, and then another one and another one? Because the king isn't going to do anything. The king will send people here if there is a rebellion.
And it sounds like we need a rebellion.
It's only if there's anybody left to tell the story.
That is true.
Which there won't be if there's a rebellion in town. These people are going to die if they don't get the proper support, if they try to shun the people trying to help them.
I mean, you're absolutely right. What I'm just saying is that it won't be pretty if there's a rebellion. A lot of people will die more than in whatever will happen with the Swagan.
Well, probably need to find Oceanus at some point. See what's going on with Julian. I don't understand really the whole concept of not liking people from the crown. I got plenty of people I don't like back in my hometown. I mean, you gotta hate them for doing you a favor of protecting your family and friends. I don't know if they got personal beef or what.
I'm in the same boat. Bart, Gloob, what Julian did in there, it only puts you in more danger. The way
go ahead.
No, the way you talk to Firebrand, it's. I disagree with what he says, but beyond that, it's a risk. because I mean, Firebrand he works for the crown. He was appointed by the crown.
I don't think anything is going to happen in Glue, but it damn sure complicated things, or had the potential to make things a lot more complicated. It's hard to save the city you can't step foot in.
Yeah.
In any case, let's we probably go find him. I mean, I don't know what's put him in such a state he could be running his mouth right now for all I know. Completely semi off topic, real quick. DM, can I roll a history check to know anything about the local governor?
Sure, go ahead.
That is a natural 20 plus 4.
He's your best friend.
Hey!
Okay. So, all right. So we don't. There's even with a natural 20, there's not a ton of history necessarily. The Duke, is his official title, who's a governor of this province, is Duke Merrick Feldrin. He rules over Seaton in his capacity of governor of the southern province. That includes Seaton as well as Saltmarsh and the surrounding areas. The king of Keeland, King Scotty, actually originally granted the dukeship to his older brother, who was a war hero named Obertus Feldrin. But his brother's reign was incredibly short-lived. He got sick and died about a year into his rule. The title then fell to his younger brother, Merrick. He is a fiery personality, very kind of brash. And seems he does not and due to that, he has done little to hide his general disdain for the residents and natives of the province in which he rules. He does not think very well of them. And he also does not have any particular fondness. He believes his brother's demise to have come about due to the Sea Princes, and has, in that capacity at least, served well in his post, aggressively fighting back against the Sea Princes and their what had been, up until the crown turned its vision back to the south, had been a vicious reign of terror over a lot of the coast.
His reign or the Sea Princes?
The Sea Princes. He is very aggressively fought back, even after, like, his brother did similar, but due to his suspicions of the nature of his brother's death, and he has made no secret of a lot of that. But other than that, he's just general. He has basically made it known that he intends to expand or grow the Crown's naval presence within the south in order to further combat the Sea Princes and other pirate presence along the southern coast. So, with a natural 20, you get a lot. That's not necessarily surface level, but
sure. I read a few books.
Okay.
Maybe he visited.
Oh God, no. But you talked to a lot of people who had come in and out of Seaton, and a lot of that stuff really stuck. Some who had heard some particularly juicy rumors about and stuff.
I don't know. Seems like the governor has a real big heart on to fight against the Sea Princes because he thinks they killed their brother. Fighting against a bunch of pirates, who gives a shit? Towns are being overrun by sea monsters, so.
I might tip the hat a little bit. Hat's blocking the path.
I'm sorry.
You're
sorry.
Good. You're good.
Was I legible at least, or?
Yeah. Just a little more.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe let's just say here. I mean, let's go get Julian so we can actually figure this shit out. This is not good. Off to the ship, I guess.
All right.
Unless
So,
somebody else has
cut-
other things they want to do.
Cut to Julian. Where are you going, Julian?
To the ship.
You gone to the ship? Okay.
He is, contrary to the fears of Bart not running his mouth, he is simply sulking.
Okay. So,
In a very dignified, dangerous fishman kind of way, but at the end
Right.
of the day, it is still sulking.
you still get looks and stuff as you go, but due to your general demeanor after stalking away, they are brief and usually closely followed by whoever is looking scurrying off,
Well,
deciding
he's
to not remain in your vicinity.
I mean, he generally goes with that like shawl-looking thing in his character art, so it's not like he's
Right.
staring everyone down. He's probably looking at the fucking ground while he walks, to be honest, right now.
People know who you are though, at this point, and
I just meant he's not like doing the sharky.
right.
thing.
Like I was saying, so it's not necessarily, it's not the exact same response of when you intentionally scared people, but they know generally who you are, and you are agitated, visibly.
Fair enough.
So they are not trying their best not to remain around you too long, especially with more current suspicions having been thrown about. All right. Anything that you would like to do during this time after you have left them, aside from just going to the boat?
Yeah, he's probably gonna be sitting there with his fucking head in his hands, sitting at a table or something.
Sure. It's still there.
Alright.
All right. Anything the rest of you would like to do on your way? No.
Not that I know of.
Okay. You notice a general wake that has been left by Julian of slightly frightened people, or at least kind of people that
I'll
look like
return
agitated.
everyone's weird looks with honeyed smiles and really polite. Yeah.
Sure.
I actually do have a question for the Dungeon Master. I think you've mentioned it before, but I can't remember. And in the lore stuff that I have looked over, it doesn't give an explicit timeline.
Sure.
The big, I know the Sea Princes have always been like kind of present, but there was the big raid that really fucked him up. How long ago was that?
There was more than one. It was a time period basically of where the raids were really bad.
Was that in Julian's lifetime or his
Yes.
father's lifetime? I remember it was
that
one of the
was 100% in your lifetime, because it was shortly after that time. It basically, as Keelans, as you know, your nations, they had been very expansionistic, like they very much, and that's why the crown had paid so little attention
right
to you guys in the south. And the Sea Princes were a thing that kind of it built up, and as the longer they had, the more confident they grew.
Right,
and then
I knew
was
the
that
gist of it.
time.
I just didn't know if it was like 40 years ago or 10 years ago.
No, it was more in the. I think it was included in the original document I sent you guys. Let me check. Around what that general timeline was. Let me see here. Wait, nope, that's the wrong document. But I believe it was somewhere in that more 10-ish range. There we are.
It just says decades ago. It doesn't say how many decades.
Decades ago. It's probably more of 2, I would say. It was within your lifetime, even if you were not an adult. It was probably in your
Gotcha.
early life and that's why I just kind of, because it wasn't too long ago, as there are plenty of people who are still living that hold a deep grudge against the Sea Princes.
Right. But it was like his father's time of being a fisherman.
Oh yeah,
Or
like
directly-
when he was more out, actively on the sea. Yes.
Gotcha. All right, cool. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Sure. All right. So, the rest of you making your way along. Bart, even with all your polite smiles and stuff, it seems to make some people just more confused than making them being like, oh, hey, no, they're actually not. He's actually a nice guy. Like, it's just kind of like a, and like kind of you see him kind of a little thought of like weird like suspicion, like is he trying to trick me, like that kind of thing as you go
Let him. Just
Yeah.
I'm just giving him the hardest,
Yeah,
water
absolutely.
off the duck's back type kind of
Yeah,
shit.
absolutely. But you guys do make it to the boat with relatively little searching, find that Julian is within.
Right? Yeah, I'll search the boat to find the Julian and find him.
Sitting at a table or whatever. Probably whatever, like kitchen, dining area, whatever.
Julian, what happened back there? What's wrong?
You saw what happened.
I mean, you seemed really angry. I don't know if I said something that upset you or what's going
You?
on.
Not at all.
All right. Well, I mean, you ever stormed off in the middle of a conversation before, so it seemed like I might have said something wrong.
You just can't understand. It's not your fault.
I mean, I've been around for a while. Help me understand.
Saltmarsh is my home. I grew up here. My father grew up here. His father grew up here.
Sure.
The Crown has no business here. They've never helped us, and they're not helping us now either. If there was ever a time for them to have changed my mind, this would have been it. And they're proving me right every step of the way. I don't hate Firebrand. I hate what he represents and who he stands for.
What are they doing?
They're not helping us. They're taking our tax money and they're going to hand it all over to the miners. It's what they've been trying to do for ages. Only Ida has been standing against it. Her and her allies.
I'm seeing some kind of disconnect. I mean, the governor is being an idiot. I don't see what that has to do with Firebrand. Everyone's had a shitty boss before. That's kind of what I drew from the situation.
The governor is part of the bureaucratic system that causes the problems. And last time, when it was the pirates causing ruination, the Crown didn't protect us then, but they want to claim us? Hell no.
All right, but the Crown's here now with what you guys have trying to help. We're not getting the reinforcements you wish you had, but I mean, it's not like Firebrand's twiddling his thumbs and smoking cigars with his feet up on his desk. I mean, he's literally been suited up, ready to go for the past few weeks. What
Firebrand.
Right.
But that could have been anyone. We don't have to be under the king's rule to have a captain of the guard, to hire mercenaries.
But you weren't talking to anybody. You were talking to Firebrand. Hell, you took money from the man.
Hell yeah, I'll take money from damn near anyone.
You'll let him go off and die for you too, right?
Sure. For Saltmarsh? Yes.
All right, so where's the problem? They take you and your money and they're going to die for you. Seems like a pretty fair trade to me, right?
After this is taken care of, where are we gonna be? Where were we before this? That's the part you're missing. I don't just look at it as this Sahuagin War, whatever we're gonna call it. Saltmarsh was here before that. Saltmarsh was here after, and the Crown hasn't helped us for any of it. Nothing we couldn't have done on our own.
Oh, I come from a pretty small town, right? And we've had a hurricane or two come through. And sometimes, you got neighbors you don't like too much, or they might owe you money or something like that, but when the hurricane comes through, you kind of got to help everybody. It doesn't matter if you like them or not, or if you don't agree with them, or if they owe you money. Maybe you shouldn't help them as much as somebody else, but to get through the storm, you got to work together.
They don't want to be our neighbors, Bart. If they did, I'd be a lot more receptive. My father would have been more receptive, and many, many people I know would be more receptive.
All right. And that seems like something that you should definitely deal with, and I'm more than happy to help you deal with after the storm is over, so to speak, after we figure out this Sahuagin situation, if there is anything to figure out, if we can manage to try and save the city.
Which we are working on, yes.
Right. I just don't understand why you're pissing in Firebrand's face when he's trying to help, regardless of him working for shitty people or not.
Working for shitty people's a choice. He could renounce the crown at any time. He chooses not to.
I mean, yeah, I could probably go into any bar and steal all the food I wanted and tell him I'm not paying for anything. You can't stop me. I got magic. Right? I mean, common decency doesn't make you do that when you're working on the same team, though, right? I mean,
I'm not stealing from him. I also don't have to be friendly to him.
okay.
It's deeper than just me. It's deeper than this war.
Right. And I get that, you know, you've got the way that you feel about him and his people and their systems of doing everything they can to take, but doing as little as they can to give. I just kind of feel like at the moment we should try and get as much as we can and not worry too much about the strings that are or are not attached, or strings that were attached before or after, or anything that's happening aside from trying to make sure the most people possible in this war make it out. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. I didn't instigate him. He started it. He wants to take an attitude. I'll return it.
I guess I missed the part where he took an attitude.
He's being condescending to us. We're the only reason he's not already dead.
I mean, he's a lawman and our party killed someone in his town. I can't imagine that makes someone too thrilled with you when you're a man that's having to deal with a war effort and people really aren't helping you that are supposed to be in your corner, and you're getting shit on all over from every angle. That the last thing you need is the people that are helping you out the most to stab you in the back.
The criticisms he's getting are because of who he represents, not because of who he is or what he's done.
All right.
So that's not a part of the equation as much as he would like to think it is.
I feel like
The things we've done for him and the thing we did against him, when weighed against one another, are still in the favor of he should be thanking us. So I won't take his condescension.
All right. Sure. I guess. I mean, just disagree on that one. I mean, we saved a lot more lives than the one we took.
Exactly.
He totally doesn't get like at this point. He's like,
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Sure. But nobody cares about that in town, apparently. They care more that rumors are started that that one got lost and he was to blame for it. And it's making his job, which is saving the people of your town, harder. You see what I'm saying?
Mostly he's worried about what it's going to do after the war is over. They need him right now.
No, you misheard what he said. He said these are probably motivations for after the war is over. That right now it's causing a whole lot of problems. The man doesn't care about his career afterwards. He's trying. I mean, if you saw what he looked like, the man's probably pretty sure he ain't coming back. Does that sound like a guy who's worried about his career? You picture that face you just saw in your head and tell me if that guy thinks he's coming back.
he does not respond.
Anyway, career or not, he's doing his duty, whether you hate it or like it. He's trying to save people, the same as me, same as you, same as Blue, same as Yaku, same as Ella, Ned, and Oceanus. We're all in the same corner, even if we hate each other. We're still on the same team. Anyway, I doubt you're gonna have to deal with him anymore. I'm just trying to figure out what happened.
He'll be replaced. They'll send another.
He sounds more just dejected and almost a little hopeless, more than angry at this point.
There's always another.
How much you think Saltmarsh makes a year, or a quarter, or a decade, or however it's measured up there? Seaton. You think it's worth sending an army if this one don't make it? They'll send aid for refugees.
Much as they want these mines, I imagine they'd send something.
I don't doubt it. But
Besides, you want to claim us as your king. You need to act like it, not just when it's profitable.
oh hell yeah, people are terrible all over the place. But we're supposed to be the good ones though. Right?
We'll be the ones that survive.
Well, I mean, I hadn't given up on you yet, even if you don't want to see it. I've got faith in you, alright, Julian? Even if you are a damn asshole sometimes. I'm gonna punch him on the shoulder.
Only to loyalists.
Oh, hell, I'm loyal to you.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, okay. Gonna fucking walk out the damn room.
He's
Come on, we got work to do.
trying to stay sulky with mixed success at this point. And he will get up and follow Bart.
Anything Gloob and Jakob wanted to be doing while that conversation was happening?
Gloob's probably just staying off to the side and just not even chiming in. It's like,
Okay.
at this point, he feels like all of this shit is his fault, so he's just fucking keeping quiet for right now.
Okay, Jakob.
I am on the deck outside, just praying to Heronius for
Okay.
guidance and just staring at the ocean.
Okay.
Alright. Well, we got issues to go out and try to find that camp, and in the meantime, there's someone spreading rumors and destabilizing the local population and making it more vulnerable to attack. I walk in and talk, and guys are going off the boat. And as it stands so far, there's only a couple of people that could finger us and being implicated in this whole process. So we need to either talk to that guard or we need to talk to dang, you said Anders? We need to talk to Anders. Julian, what you know about Anders? Is he one of the loyalists or the traditionalists or whatever hell stuff's going on here?
He's for Ida.
Anders.
Fisherman. Fisherman's friend.
Anders is from a wealthy merchant family originally, and they have been within Saltmarsh for quite a long time. But I will say, definitely in recent years, you don't know as much about Anders from your recent past because you were gone for about 5 years, correct? Was what you had stated
yeah, that's
originally.
right.
So his parents had still been alive the last time you were still local. They died in the meantime, but with you having more of a pulse on the politics of Saltmarsh, and from what you've observed and kind of gathered from like local populist talk and stuff, and Anders has served as a very like solid mediator between both the crown and like between both traditionalists and loyalists. He gets along pretty well with both and has managed to keep a lot of the peace.
I will amend my statement then and say,
I don't know that much about him. He's pretty new, but from what I gather, popular with the fishermen. More of the middle ground, but seems to hold sway with some of the traditionalists.
So he's not one of the king's people.
Not from what I understand.
Do you think you can turn I don't know, I guess a profit from spreading rumors that Firebrand did this?
I don't know. That's a bit above my head, politically speaking. My brother might know more, but
I mean, you got a picture of your brother?
not here.
A painting or something? Okay, well,
We head to Whitecrest maybe, but that's a day north.
East, whatever.
We don't have that kind of time. Shit.
I think we should go see Oceanus first.
Yeah, we should make sure he's all right.
We'll note just to keep everybody on of what time it is. It is the evening.
Right.
So y'all are creeping into like 6 o'clock, coming on 7 o'clock at this juncture.
Cool. And he's the one that had the jackass butler, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The fidgety, the dude that's like 19, by far the youngest council member, like 19, 20, very young,
Didn't realize he was that young.
very, yeah.
We might also want to. This could be something for tomorrow, but we should probably check if Captain Zindros is here, and I want to check on that order.
Her boat's still here. Y'all are on the docks. You can go. She's still here.
Should we do that real quick before we see Ocean? Or is the warehouse within sight?
Yeah, the warehouses are along the docks. There's like a small handful. There's not a ton of them because of how small this place is. They generally, the warehouses only belong to the more wealthy. So like, the Owland family owns a warehouse, and a couple of the more wealthy merchants also have a warehouse of their own.
Was it implied that Oceanus was injured in the process?
It's a good bet. If the entirety of the rest of his men that he was with were killed,
The
probably
Firebrand said he's recovering when you asked.
Right.
that's true.
Or Yakub asked, I think.
Yeah, if I could find a guard, which it seems like you can't swing a cat without hitting one
Correct.
right now.
There's a lot more of them, and every now and then you see like, and there are now like some that are like small groups of more active patrols, and some of them have one of those more like heavily armed gentlemen like that were outside of Eleander's office.
Yeah, I'll try to flag one down. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You know where that sea elf gentleman, Oceanus, is holed up at the moment? Small town, across the fence.
He's like, I don't know
He's
anybody specifically by the name, but they don't spend much time staying in town outside of there's some of the wounded that are at the warehouse that's now a hospice.
Thank you very much. Give him a hat tip.
Just kind of takes a glance over at you guys, looking kind of ponderous, like just kind of looking y'all over. You know, clearly everybody is
Sure.
kind of trying to size y'all up upon y'all's return.
All right.
Okay.
We also need to find housing for the horses. And
Are y'all just bringing the wagon around with
Oh,
you as you
gosh.
guys go?
Yeah, I guess we were. Fuck. Yeah, we need to do that. We'll do that after we talk to Oceanus and Zindros, I guess.
Sure.
I forgot about that.
Can we roll it up on the ship or no?
think
The
that's a pretty
gangplank
big-
that is currently
gangplank's
there
not that
is
wide,
not that
I don't know.
wide.
Come on, you can get up that incline. Come on.
We get a ramp.
Y'all would have to get a bigger ramp. Like the yeah. The gangplank is the gangplank that is currently there is meant for people.
I'm just imagining the actual like having a horse-drawn and then getting the wagon and the horses. The amount of speed that you'd have to have, and then turning sharply to not just go off the other end of the boat with the momentum. It's probably going to be a dead horse or a drowning horse. In any
Horrible.
case,
Okay. Y'all are heading over to the hospital. Air quotes.
the triage center.
Yeah, that's more apt. All right, so y'all head down that way, and as you get closer, it's really evident all the other warehouses are basically shut. Like, there's not really anybody going in and out of them. There's not much trade going on at the moment. But that you do see one that has several guards outside of it, as well as the doors are like it's kind of open to one side, not all the way, just enough to allow people in and out, and there are people going in and out. You'll approach.
Yes.
Okay.
Walk on in there,
Sure.
gentlemen.
Y'all don't look injured.
Or not. Need to talk to a fellow inside.
I'm just gonna crawl up on Jakob's fucking full plate and look around and see if I see Oceanus.
Hey guys, that's fine if you're checking on a buddy, but don't stick around too long, just in case.
Just in case. Of
Getting in people's way. Some people have gotten sick.
They got a sickness
No,
going around?
nothing, not like any kind of plague, but you might get them more sick or something. A lot of open wounds,
All right.
and don't get
Does it-
anybody's way. That's the main thing. You blocking up
I'm
space.
small. I won't get in many people's way. Appreciate your concern.
Mm.
I'm giving him a half-hearted hat tip and just fucking go on by this
Sure.
guy.
Y'all walk on in, and it is crowded for a warehouse. There's a lot of like cots and stuff that have been spread about, and I mean, it's for a warehouse. This isn't one that's like, it's not like an Amazon warehouse, right? But for the amount of goods that would usually come to and from Saltmarsh, it looks like there's easily like close to 100 people in here. Yeah, that are a lot of them pretty badly wounded.
Flame strike.
Sure, yeah, if you want.
Okay.
But you don't have that spell yet. You got 3 levels. But some, and it's kind of similar to out in the camp, except worse. Like these are the people that aren't walking wounded. Like you see some people that it looks like they don't have anything after a certain point on their leg. Like they're missing a foot, some appendages, some people just fingers, eyes appear to be gone. Other people like that have like wraps around their chest that are mostly stained red. But just quick perception check, see if you can how long it takes you to locate Oceanus.
21.
21?
19.
19, 22.
21 is higher.
Jakob.
22 is higher.
22
Every
as
time I
well?
get-
Wow.
Every time I get 21, I keep on to say, yeah, 21, 9 plus 10.
9 plus 21.
21.
Gloob, you're still kind of like up on Jakob's shoulders, and y'all are both kind of like panning around like a turret as y'all are looking around. And so within like a minute after entering, y'all are able to spot Oceanus. He's fairly recognizable. Y'all make your way over to him, and he is laid out on a cot. He appears to have bandages covering up his torso. You can't see his legs at the moment as he's like a blanket pulled up on them, and he's kind of propped back with also a bandage that's wrapped around his head. And he's laying there. He seems still in and out as y'all approach. And y'all do see like people that are going around basically performing as nurses to a lot of these people, and there are way more wounded than there are nurses.
All right. I am going to cast Cure Wounds on Oceanus.
Sure, go ahead and roll it.
I'm rolling at 2nd level. That is 13.
13. So you go over and you just kind of place a hand on Oceanus, and that soft light emanates from it as Soroli's healing magic enters his body, and he just kind of his eyes are fluttering. He's hey.
Hey yourself. It's the first time you waking up?
In and out.
Do you remember what happened?
Looks around. He's kind of seems to be taken in the room. Seem to happen lots of places. Been a while. We were on the patrol. Keeping an eye out for Sahuagin.
Mhm.
And some of them came out like normal. Bit of a skirmish, nothing too serious. None of them particularly capable, just kind of almost bloodthirsty animals. And then the rest of them showed up. More coordinated. And much more skilled. They weren't just flailing about with their weaponry. At their head was they were also better armored, more well equipped. Well, you know, the ones we have seen have been more almost nothing. Just some javelins and that's it. These ones had armor. Like almost, he kind of reaches out a hand and kind of dings it on Julian's chest. More like shields.
Yeah, like actual metal.
So it looked like similar to kind of looks at his chest. My armor is not here, but more like my.
Julian will pull out the coral dagger.
No.
Like this?
No. It is like what they're. I guess they're more scouts, skirmishers. But more like what my people use.
Like scale mail?
Yes, but with resources that are worked metal from under the sea.
Oh, okay.
And it,
So they are armored, coordinated. I'm guessing tougher, all that.
absolutely, much harder to put down. At their head was one who wielded a blade, and he cut through my men like water. Under the water like water, but almost like they weren't there.
See,
If not for the arrival of a merfolk patrol, we would have been completely wiped out, which we nearly were anyway. But they decided they had inflicted enough wounds and suffered few enough of their own and withdrew. It seems this wasn't the only place that happened.
yeah, there's reports from other places of more veteran troops showing up to get in the fight. Do you know what your folks plan on doing with all this? I mean, were they fully committed already?
He brought the majority of my clan, my tribe.
That was it? I mean, I don't
No.
think that was it.
They were not.
Okay.
No, that was not the entirety of my people that were wiped out. We were a
but what
patrol.
were
I don't know. This may call for we sent for my father, perhaps.
they? I understand.
With what little we had left, this is a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting pretty worse.
But I mean, we will do what we have been doing. We can't afford to let them. I mean, we live in the ocean. And
What's the official title of your father?
he is the chief.
The chief.
Yes.
So he is the head of your people.
Yes, he is the chief of my clan.
You're kind of like an envoy, right?
More like I came in his stead.
It's kind of the same thing. How quickly do you think you can get back to your folks and let them know? That'll be a bigger deal.
I would be surprised if somebody hadn't been sent already. I have
How long do you
not
think
been.
that'll be?
Matter of days, perhaps.
So someone's probably already gone then.
I would certainly hope so.
This might be a fruitless task, but how do you feel like heading the sea?
Why?
Someone's got to get a fire under the governor's ass to get him aid for our people down here. And maybe if you're an envoy for an entire people under the water,
My people are not that large.
kind of seems full of himself. He might not know the difference.
Sure. I am not a politician. My people don't choose leaders the same way.
If you don't feel up to the task, that's all right. I didn't know if it might be something that you to doing.
I doubt my skill set would do much good.
Fair enough.
If Firebrand hasn't been able to get through him, I doubt anybody will. Especially foreigners.
Right. Okay.
I feel much better. That was...
Yeah.
like my chest doesn't hurt. That's nice.
You
Well,
said their leader came out.
I don't know. He's definitely seemed like one for sure, or at least a little sore still. A commander at least, someone in the field. I don't know. My father knows more about Sahuagin, but not myself.
What did he look like?
Hey, ugly fishman.
hey, fish.
He looked. I mean, he was. You know, the one with the X on the bigger one. He was like that. He was bigger, but also skilled, incredibly so. He wasn't just a brute. It was terrifying, to be frank. But big, also armored.
We're in a bit of a bind. Reinforcements hadn't been coming, and Firebrand's going to have to take to the front lines because he can't really lead from back here in town.
And that is where a commander of men should be, quite frankly.
But that also leaves us in a situation with Saltmarsh being a little bit less protected, right? And I don't know how well Firebrand's going to be able to keep a rein on things from out there, if he's going to be coming back at all. And that leaves the politicking a lot less able to get done, right? So I'm trying to do everything I can and figure some stuff out because I feel like things aren't going to go so great in the interim. We got a mission to try and find their headquarters or whereabouts, maybe their equivalent of their forward operation area in the old den of the lizard folks.
Right, from what I understand, that is the most likely suspected place.
Yeah, we're going to go try and deal with that situation. We're just trying to get things set in order before we leave.
I mean, it may not matter, not if we don't win.
I mean, every little bit matters. I don't know,
He
I don't know
shrugs.
we have no clue how many their numbers are, right? And even if we did, even if we had proper... I don't know enough about politics to falsify documents and records to get people to light a fire in their houses, but yeah, anyway, I'm kind of just reaching out on a limb here and knew that there's a friendly face here that needed some help.
I wish I could help you as well. That is
You
so
can,
far
actually.
outside my realm of expertise.
How good are you at giving out berries?
What do you mean?
I mean, how good are you at giving people berries?
He still looks confused.
I've given him good berries before on the ship.
Yeah, I mean, but he's like, but it's the context of, like, I mean,
there's a lot of sick people around.
Takes very little.
Julian nods knowingly.
And
yes,
it's like, I mean,
berries.
you just hand people berry. I don't think there's particular skill involved.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go through the process of start conjuring up some good berries.
Sure. Does it do 10 at a time?
10 at a time.
Okay.
I will hand him a bush of berries, essentially.
It is a lot of berry.
There's a lot of sick people.
There are a lot of injured.
If you give them one, it'll give them a lot of nourishment.
Uh-huh.
It should stabilize them a little bit. Just try to give them one.
Do they regrow limbs?
It will not.
He
regrow
glances at somebody who looks like they're missing their leg from the knee down. Just kind of like,
It won't regrow limbs, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying for you to do the wartime thing of trying to get people who look like they're best fighting out in the front lines. You pick people who think you need it the most, or they're going to be goners. All right. Trying to save lives here, not fight. Okay.
sure. This looks like okay.
I don't know where you're going to be when I come back.
Oh, you should
And
say.
we got a lot of stuff to do before it gets too late tonight.
Very well. Hey,
You still need to keep your rest. I healed you up pretty good, but
I
you look
feel
pretty.
much better.
If one of the nurses give you any lip, just I don't know, let her have one of the berries so she understands what it's going to do.
You could just tell them yourself,
I don't think people really trust me too much.
Okay.
Just take the word
Looks
for
kind of confused. All right. He's kind of eases himself kind of out of
You're
his.
You're the
caught a
sole
little bit.
survivor,
Oof.
war hero from the Solhagen threat. You got some clout.
I do not feel like. I feel like I got my ass kicked 9 times to Sunday.
It's all right to feel like it. Just don't let him see it. Just give him a wink.
Just like I've been laying in cuts for days. I don't. Okay, whatever. Just starts kind of going around, just going. Open your fucking mouth.
It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it.
Assaulting people with small.
Yeah.
Basically, he's like.
We gotta get out of here.
You see him lean over, just kind of like slap a dude on the cheek a little bit till he wakes up and goes.
He's doing
"Eat
like
the berry."
the cow thing where you massage it down their throat.
Gotta get one of those those long blow dart tubes. Just put a berry in one end and.
Oh god.
Basically, just he make sure people are awake long enough, enough to consciously chew and swallow. He's like, yeah, good. And I mean, you see people perking up a little bit. The ones that are missing limbs, can only perk up so much. But I mean, they definitely seems to be making them feel
They
better.
can perk from
Yeah.
whatever position.
Yeah.
Maybe
It-
fully up.
You see it slowly, as he's going around handing those out. How many did you give him, out of curiosity?
40.
You just burnt all your first level spells? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
first
Can you
level
upcast Goodberry? Out of
I-
curiosity?
It just gives you 10. That's
Okay.
why I only did 40.
Okay, fair enough. But he seems to be moving, and you can see it slowly spreading of less misery as he goes along. A nurse does come up and seem to fuss at him for standing, and he just you can definitely hear him being like, "Get fuck yourself." I can stand just fine. And seems to hand her a handful of berries. Just kind of and it seems to be slightly speeding up the process because he's still kind of walking tenderly. But yeah. What else would you gentlemen like to do?
Alright. Zindros, I guess?
Sure.
If she's still here, yeah.
Her ship was still here when y'all were
If
over by your
she's
boat.
still in the market,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure she'll make an exception for rugged mercenaries like yourselves. She probably thinks that doing business with us is even more lucrative since we probably lack any morals.
Goddamn. So, y'all head off towards the market, and same as before, it previously, way back before most people had been basically stuck here. It had been very temporary kind of set up, and is kind of added on a little bit at a time to amenities to make her life more comfortable while staying here, because I guess she doesn't feel like staying on the boat. But you approach it, it's you still got the main tent, but then behind that there's more of a more permanent setup. It looks like she's gone out of her way.
She's gonna end up with a whole ass house.
If she's gonna be stuck here, she's gonna be comfortable. But
And rich.
I don't think Zendros has ever been lacking for money, quite frankly.
This ain't hurting though.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean maybe. But
How far away is Seaton walking on foot?
probably similar to Burle if I recall the map correctly.
About 2 days walking.
Something like that. I'd have to look at the map again, but it's a little bit away. I mean, it's far enough away that they need to have a more permanent authority figure, as opposed to just somebody who could report frequently. We'll get y'all more like exact number at a different time.
And what's the population of Saltmarsh compared to Seaton?
Saltmarsh is town. Seaton is definitely a city. So a difference of there's 1,000 total occupants of Saltmarsh, or maybe a little under that, whereas Seaton is most definitely in the thousands, plural.
Are we talking 10, 25?
Probably in the tens. But it has actual walls around the whole thing, and a big port and actual military presence, that kind of thing.
Alright.
So,
Okay.
y'all approach Zendros' tent. It's now a little after 7. Her tent's definitely, the flap is closed. But, y'all can do what you want. You're knocking on the tent?
I think Jakob wants to do something.
Yeah. What's up, Jakob?
Yes. After Bart had made the mercenaries comment, so going back a little bit.
Sure, yeah. That's fine.
I'm just gonna say, I'd rather we not get called that. We should probably come up with something to call ourselves. I mean, we're sticking around together for this long.
I don't know. We're just Travis Saltmarsh, alright? Let's just keep on going.
All right.
The Salt Tribe.
The TOS.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Nobody will ever trust you ever.
But they will accept this, okay?
They'll ignore you for the most part. They'll be like, yeah, you can stay here, but we're not gonna fucking look at you.
They can't ignore us. They have to acknowledge us.
One time. They have to do it once.
They
Periodically.
have to acknowledge us.
That's all it takes.
Every time y'all get a new member, they will have to re-accept you.
Pulls out the contract.
Nobody knows anything about us.
Yep. Nobody knows any details. They just know you exist. That's it. They're like, yeah, we've heard of you. That's it.
So
Oh
you
my
have
God.
heard of me.
You have to be the worst mercenaries I've ever heard of. All right.
Alright.
So I guess that's now on everybody's thinking, and everybody's thinking caps.
What's wrong with Travis Saltmarsh?
Hey, yeah, if that's what y'all want to do, by all means, do what you want. So, see a supposedly closed area, and unless Jakob has some suggestions he wants to throw out.
Oh, for the name or?
I don't know, up to whatever y'all want to do. Your time is your own.
I would say Zendros and try to knock on the tent flap.
The flap goes as you try to make noise with the tent flap.
Who is doing the knocking?
I don't know.
Jacob, I suppose.
I mean, and
I
it's
will-
it is tied. It looks like from the inside, so you hit it and it doesn't separate.
About what time is it?
It's a little after 7.
I will make a light knocking noise with prestidigitation.
Define light.
Gunshot.
I ain't trying to wake people up, but if they're already awake, get their attention.
Sure. So reasonably loud. I'll hear a knocking sound where there really shouldn't be.
Yes.
I mean, and from within the tent, back on the opposite end of where there's her amalgamation of structure. It looks like she brought a cart. She kind of treated it like a mobile home. She took what's essentially a traveling cart that you can rest in that's a little bigger, and has built up around it a little bit. So it's becoming a less temporary, more permanent as time goes on. And there's
Good knocking glue.
We all hear what sounds like opening from within and some footsteps down wooden stairs. And then the tent flap opens a little bit. And you see a Captain Zendros in more evening wear. Well, hello.
I set a mental image of her wearing like a old cartoon nightcap.
No. More like velvet overrobe kind of deal. Like,
It's a snuggie.
Oh, no.
Hell yeah.
fun fact: Zendros invented the snuggie.
Oh man.
Here, anyway. Joke's on you. Well,
Captain
hello.
Zendros, how are you at this late hour?
Well, I am quite closed right now. So,
Hey, you know what? I was just having a conversation with one of my companions here on how much it would cost to see your lovely face in a
Really?
business capacity.
oh, unfortunately, my business does not work that way. I'm not in that market.
Oh no, no. to see your face in a professional
Oh,
capacity
I see,
after
I see.
hours.
Oh, is it more of a consulting capacity, perhaps?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh.
that'll do.
Oh, well, my time is quite valuable, especially at the end of the day. But we'll see what we can work out. Come. She just turns around and just kind of waves y'all to follow. And she's got like a weird like little tent tunnel that goes up the stairs into the expanded cart.
When
Living
you see those
quarters
people
cart.
that have the like way over the top like camping setups with like multiple room
Yes.
tents and crap, that's what.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Glamping, yeah.
Yep. She's wanted to sleep somewhere that doesn't rock, every so often.
I can fucking. Bart's like, yeah, I feel you. I wouldn't want to sleep on a fucking boat either.
So she takes y'all up into what is basically like a small living room and takes a seat in a nice cushioned chair. So, what is it that I can do for you, gentlemen?
We got quite a few things to look at.
Oh, if I recall, there were some things that you asked me to look into as well before you
Yes.
left. Multiple times, actually.
That's right.
So, would you like the previous first, or would you like to ask anew?
Well, let's see what you got first.
Well, if I recall correctly, asked me to look into the matters of a couple of pirates that you had run into. One by the name of Farenzal the Butcher, as well as his first mate Kithora, whose surname is Falmorin, I have discovered. So, I've put out word a little bit to find some more things that you desire, and while the Sea Princes are pretty secretive about their private enforcers, when they had public lives beforehand, it's a little easier to find out. So, you see, Farenzal, he's an interesting fellow, I discover, especially even among the Sea Princes, his valuable assets. He was at one point, it seems that nobody's quite sure where he came from originally. You'd have to ask him, but he spent a number of years within the fighting pits in the Sea Prince's holdings. He's quite prolific, actually, where he earned his title, it would seem. Very skilled, He won a lot. At some point, I guess somebody decided he could do more good fighting for them on their ships than in the pits. And so whoever that was bought him and took him instead of a fighting slave, took him aboard their vessel and had him fight there. Doing quite well for himself for quite a while there, and just some random pirate, not any of the Sea Prince's special boys. But they did eventually take him. They freed him after he did quite well, and he felt he had earned some kind of freedoms, and he continued working for them. But then they took him onto one of their vessels, eventually making his way until he ended up on Kithora's ship, funnily enough. It was her, oh god, what was the name of their ship? The Prince's Wench was originally under her command, apparently. He served as her first mate for quite some time. They went out, away, on some business of the Prince's, I presume. And when they came back, mad as she is now,
All right.
and he took over her position. And
He's talking about Cathora, right?
yep,
Okay,
the halfling caster.
right. And she said she's mad now?
She seemed that she had something on that trip, drove her over the edge. Lost her marbles, I'm not quite sure what. Nobody seems to know. But in any capacity, it did appear that she could serve as the captain of her ship. But Farenzal was quite insistent on her remaining as his first mate. Killed a couple of men who took issue with it. It would appear that they are lovers of some sort. I couldn't tell you when they became involved, though.
That's horrifying.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
That was an out of character comment.
But they have done work for the princes since then, I would presume. Very effective, brutal, efficient. Seems that he kept his love of fighting from the pits. But from what I understand, he doesn't seem to have much of a personal agenda, aside from doing what he enjoys and keeping the mad woman by his side.
It's quite a hefty amount of information you're able to dig up. We highly appreciate
Well,
it.
when you have some people put the word out within some you can trust within the holdings, well, they can find out quite a bit.
Right.
So, what new is there that you want me to tell you or find out for you?
I forget. Did the last time we left, did we ask her to look for anything?
Let's see here. Magic items, yes.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and tell you that. Well, I have been kept here. I have created a few more of the potions that the good captain is quick to purchase at a very reasonable price, I might add. But I have not been able to acquire much new in the way of goods. I'm kind of biding my time until it's safer to depart and restock.
I see.
Do you have anything left to purchase?
Let me see. Let me double check what she had previously. That y'all didn't buy. Well, a few more things have been purchased as baubles, but I do still possess the Bag of Bounty and the Cape of the Mountebank. But tragically, the other lesser of the two rings that are procured for you, as well as those charming glasses, have both been purchased.
That's fine.
Doesn't seem anybody wants to shell out quite enough for that fabulous cloak. I'm sure someone will, though, eventually. Maybe once I have made my way away from Saltmarsh to wealthier ports.
All right.
I love her so much.
How much was that bag of bounty?
Yes.
Just for reference.
Oh, it's only a measly 500 gold pieces.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what I thought I remembered.
Yes.
Okay.
I have unfortunately not been able to locate any spies, by the way. I know that was something you had asked about. I've kept my ear out, of course. But finding people who don't want to be found is a lot harder than finding history of those who don't seem to particularly care.
Can I insight check her?
Sure.
Oh, if there's a natural 20, I want it to be this one, boy.
How am I supposed to do whispers? Well, I'll just ask you guys all to take
It's
your
a birthday
headsets
treat.
off.
Yeah, sure. There you go. Right
Is that the way to do whispers for us?
Oh, I do have a birthday 20. I'm not going to use it.
I was about to say, I was like, if you want to use it, it's up to you.
No, I'm not going to use it here. I go. Warm it up.
Zendros is the Swahagan Queen.
It's not a natural 20, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
I gotta see. I think I get a +1. I get a +1 dance. Fuck. It's 19. 18 plus
19.
1.
You know, we're gonna try this out just because it sounds like fun. Everybody, take out your earbuds except for
All right, what's
Mr.
the
Glib. I'll
what's the
just
sign to put
keep
it
an
back
eye
on?
on the screen, and I'll just give you a thumbs up, and then y'all put
Okay.
put everything
keep an
back
eye
in.
out for the thumbs up?
All right, Glue. So as you are observing her as she is talking about this information with you and your party, and you're watching her face and everything, and I mean, she is a pretty guarded woman. You've noticed, like, it's hard to read her, but maybe since she's not human, since she's something a little other, it's a little easier to understand. But from what you can see, she seems to be being pretty honest. Like, she's looked around. This is the information she's honestly been able to find, and she has not been able to locate any spies.
I'm just throwing them all.
Okay, sure, yeah. Yeah, okay. All right.
I'm concerned by all those
Yeah,
very dramatic facial
The
expressions.
chat
from
the
Jennifer.
chat gets to hear whispers in this stream.
Hell yeah.
I look over and I just see Alex like emoting heavily, and now I am so curious.
Amen. All right. But what is it that you have that's new that you want me to look for?
I actually have something I want you to look out for.
Sure, of course. You have such valuable customers.
It's actually two things.
Even
One
better.
would be on top of the javelin of lightning and the water skin of water.
The decanter, darling.
Yes.
Ah, yes, of course. Both
Um,
easily acquired once I can actually go find them.
Of course. I'd also like you to look out for any information on my wife, Brandalith McDoonschliebe. She's also maybe going by Rantlet.
A rantlet. I
Just
can put out
what
the
she's-
word, sure.
what she's up to, what she's doing.
She is your wife. Do you happen to know where is best to look?
To start, Seedon would probably be the best place.
Very well. I have contacts up that way. I can do that. Sure. Just wanting
I
to know
appreciate
where she is, location, or...
Yes, and that she's well.
Ah, I believe I can do that, yes.
And anything that either make me hit harder in a fight or be better for protection.
Like a weapon, an armor, or something more temporary?
A weapon or armor.
Ah, a blade is your preferred weapon of choice.
Yes, a great sword.
Ah, large two-handed thing. So unwieldy, but who am I to judge? Sure. Keep an eye out for some magical instrument of mayhem for you to whack people with.
I appreciate it. Or armor.
Of course. Protect
And the
your
going-
soft little innards.
That is important.
Indeed.
The going rate for that was 50 per request.
Yes, for items, a little cheaper for information, especially for something so local. I would say 5 gold for the information on your wife. I will
Alright.
put my ears out.
What a fucking deal.
Yeah, very close by. It's not exactly like she's gonna have to expend much.
I will then hand her 105 gold.
Sure.
Okay.
So wonderful. I will start looking right away. In the morning, of course.
Of
Business
course.
hours and all that.
We had a series of little sticks we needed you to look at.
Oh. You found some items of interest then.
Yeah, I realize I said it weird. Don't get your hopes up too much.
I wouldn't dare. You'd be surprised. I've been disappointed
Oh
so
my
many
God.
times. People hardly can ever walk the walk, even if they can talk the talk, you know.
Julian looks uncomfortable.
Awesome. So you're breaking out the runed rods. Sorry, just making sure I'm taking note of y'all's requests so I don't forget. So.
Should probably also have the ruby checked. See what's going on with that.
Alright. Alright. So y'all are busting out the ruby and the rods currently.
Yeah, it's a ruby rod.
From
Alrighty.
Asmodeus?
What'd you say?
Said from Asmodeus? I didn't realize we got that.
Asmodeus. Alright.
Asmodeus.
Asmodeus. Oh no.
Asmodeus.
That's a cursed item, right? All right. So which are y'all handing to her first? Oh God, I actually got to pull up something. Whoops.
I have no idea what they are. So
All right.
the first one.
the rods.
Yeah.
Okay. So I gotta pull some stuff up real quick because I almost forgot.
They're just hot glued twigs.
Sure. Oh man. But she goes ahead and she says, well, of course for special customers. You know of course, it still costs even after hours. Maybe I should even charge more, but maybe. She takes the bag with the rods in it and she takes those. Ooh, these are very interesting. I can't say that I've seen these before. And she does her fingers in a few kind of tracing runes in the air, and her eyes go that bright arcane blue, just kind of flickering with light as she starts to look over them one at a time, taking a little bit. She says, "Whoa, these are delightful. I would happily buy these from you if you're willing to part with them. But well, they each do something fun. You see, it's very similar to spells one might cast. This one, well, as a general, this one," she holds up one of the rods that's kind of cut in like an octagonal thing. Well, this one, when broken, in which this is what all of them do, when they break them, you release the spell. This first one, you break it for a short duration. Your speed is enhanced. Things may appear to move a little slowly and harder to hit. Your reflexes just are very on point. And this one, when you break, you want to make sure you're facing the direction in which you would like the spell to take effect. But everybody in an area in front of you will be struck by a almost overriding fear. Be terrified of whoever broke the rod. Unless they're particularly strong of will, anyway. And then she holds up 2 and 2 that appear to be like pairs. So these two will, when broken, allow the breaker, the snapper, the caster, in all intents and purposes, to be able to sense magical auras and items and the like around them for a short period of time. Whereas these, the object of the breaker's focus, when breaking them, will do away with some magical effect or something similar when broken. And let me find these ones because these are a little more iffy. Where'd it go? Sorry, guys. I should have had this already pulled up, but then I totally forgot. There it is. 250. All right. This one, I can remember mostly what this one is. Okay, well, she goes ahead. She holds up this one. This one when broken, it will conjure a shadowy hound that will serve at your beck and call for a period of time. It will speak to it. It is fairly intelligent, but not much more intelligent than a regular beast. But it will do as it is bid for you for a short period of time. And this last one, if I can find the spell description, this one, when broken, it will form a shadowy path between yourself and somewhere about 50 feet in front of you, about as wide as two men can walk abreast. But it can be used to cross any gaps. Can't hold too much weight, but can be quite useful when trying to cross perilous drops or something along those lines. So that is all for your interesting rods. And this gem, she takes a look at it as well and says, it could be quite useful as well, but a little hazardous. This one, when, as you bid, and it will break, when you shatter it, it will summon a elemental spirit of fire that will serve at your beck and call up into a certain point. It is possible to lose control of it, and if so, it may turn on its master, but useful in a pinch.
Right. These all seem extraordinarily useful.
Well, they can be, and the very interesting thing, unlike this ruby, I've seen the like of the ruby before. While not entirely common, it is not outside of the realm of possibility. These sticks. You know, you at least a couple of you dabble in magical arts.
Of course.
Some of these spells that would otherwise require your constant maintenance and attention, when broken or cast from these sticks, does not. But it would appear the magic of each of these sticks seems to kind of bind itself to the breaker at the time they don't. Perhaps you can't do. I wouldn't recommend trying more than one. I'm not quite sure what would happen.
All right.
So, as these are more consumable, more breakable items, I would be happy to lump sum them all together for identifying the lot for 100 gold pieces.
That sounds extremely generous.
Oh, you are such consistent customers. How could I not?
How's
She
everybody's
says-
money looking?
You good?
I
Yeah,
got
right,
Some people didn't give away all their money. Glenn.
yeah, I have 1,211 gold.
I like how you say that to Gloob when I literally, like the last time I was in Saltmarsh before I
Yeah.
gave away all my money.
I said some people.
Yeah.
And
Julian
everybody.
will slide her 50 gold.
Wonderful.
I'll,
And the other
I'll
50.
slide her another 50 gold.
Wonderful. So,
How's your crew doing on your ship?
they are fidgety. But as are we all, but they understand that trying to travel the seas is probably less than safe at this time.
And if it came to a situation to where Saltmarsh was going to get under attack, would you try and flee before the enemy got here, so to speak?
Oh, most likely. I'm not much of a fighter.
And how many people would you take with you?
Well, my crew, of course, and I don't know. We would have to see who asks.
I will add another 100 to the 50 on top of that, and just say, how about as many as you can carry?
Oh, this is quite the passenger fee.
I kind of like people.
Hmm.
Sort of a character flaw of mine, you might say.
Oh, some would say so. Others not so much.
Notification pops up. Julian liked that.
Very well. Well, is there anything else I can do for you, gentlemen, this evening?
Actually, yes.
Yes.
Maybe. Our trust in people's kind of slim, and I'd like to pay you for what is simple, but perhaps outside of your usual purview of services.
My purview of services is broad, I assure you.
Deliver a letter.
Oh.
Just to
An
see.
interesting choice. When there is from what I understand, quite the reputable postal service here within Saltmarsh. But
I like you better.
who am I to turn away a paying customer? Where would you like this letter to go?
Abari Rossi in Seaton.
Oh.
He shouldn't be hard to find.
Oh,
He's
not
got-
at all.
Quite the place.
Ah, wonderful. Very well.
Hand a smaller than usual letter.
She plucks it from her gowns. Very well. I'd be happy to do the job for, say, the same fee as your friend's information here, since it is so close by.
She's
5
not even
gold
done before
pieces.
5 gold is already being slid across the table to her.
Wonderful. See, such loyal customers you are.
Real quick, OOC.
Yes.
Julian, did you already send a message to your wife?
Nope. This is my first communication with her.
Oh, I thought you said to your brother.
Well, the first communication with anyone in my family.
Yeah, well, he's gonna have 2 of them. He's just gonna give you the next one in the morning. They're both going to the same town, though.
Oh, very well. Would you like
Julian
to pay in
very-
advance just in case, or do you want to just wait until you
He'll
bring
just
it by?
he'll just slide it into the tent.
Oh,
He might be up early in
sure,
the morning. Don't worry.
Ah, very well.
Julian doesn't like counter his claim, but looks very confused over at him.
We'll talk about it.
Oh. Okay.
Very well. Anything else?
That's it for me, ma'am.
Lovely. All right. Well, if you don't mind, I would like to kick back for the rest of my evening. Long
understand.
day of work ahead, you understand. I've got to recover.
Indeed.
Backing out of her tent. Still looking over at Bart.
Much obliged. Much obliged indeed.
As y'all finish backing out the tent, you see like a slight ghostly image of a hand retying the tent flaps behind you. She never left her chair.
Nice.
And that, gentleman, as y'all exit Zendros' tent to continue your doings.
Real quick,
Yeah,
I just want
yeah.
to tell Julian, if you make the first word that you hear from your wife be from your brother, we're gonna have a fight in the middle of this street.
No. That's
Aye.
not it.
All
We'll
right.
talk at the boat.
Yeah, you'll write another letter. That's fine.
No. We'll talk at the boat.
All right.
I am here for the rumble. What's y'all's respective strengths?
Oh god.
The
11.
most sad fist fight to ever have fist fought. Awesome.
I just imagine the fight starts and the Bart. Oh, shit.
I'm imagining that fight from Family Guy between fucking Herbert and
Oh my god. Anywho, as y'all exit Zendros' tent to continue whatever doings or not doings or evenings that you will have for your return to Saltmarsh, that is where we will end it tonight, as we've already gone a little bit over, but you know, what can you do? I hope everybody's had a good time tonight. I know I have. It has been a blast. I've been so excited for you guys to come back. But thank you guys for coming to play. Thank anybody else for coming to watch. We do Ghost of Saltmarsh here on Mondays, DM'd by myself and played by these lovely gentlemen. And on Saturdays, we have our Across Eberron campaign, which has a lot of the same people, but with a different dungeon master, Mr. Gloob himself. does that one with some of the rest of us being players. That's a whole lot of fun. Bigger cast, much higher stakes at this current time as they're higher level there. That's a good time. The stream's at 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to pop in there, we would appreciate it. And aside from that, we are still doing our charity stream for Extra Life, which is a organization that benefits children's hospitals across continental North America. We specifically will be benefiting the Children's Hospital of Atlanta. So open up your hearts and your wallets to these kids who need some assistance. And possibly win some cool stuff like a digital copy of Tasha's Culture and Everything, a gaming mouse or gaming keyboard at our last big hurdles of $2,500 and $3,500. But in the meantime, this evening, we will be rating our friends over at TPK Roleplay, show them some love as they also do tabletop things, and we will see you guys later. Bye!